Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Hello.
For those who might be a little unfamiliar to what's going on right now, we are hosting a little after show based on the current new episodes of Summer Turn Pretty, and we have hits differently on the channel. Way!
Yeah.
Which I'm sure all of you guys already know who these are. These lovely faces.
Maybe not.
Well, do you guys want to introduce yourselves?
Yes. So I'm Ryan. I'm like, I'm Ryan. That's Molly. That's how we do our intro. If you know, you know. Yeah. And yeah, we're hits differently.
We're a Taylor Swift podcast. Our episodes usually drop every Wednesday, and you can find us on our YouTube channel, which is at @HitsDiffPod, or anywhere you listen to your podcasts. So Ammir and Ryan and I have been clowning together for like a long time now. It's how we all met. It's how we all bonded. Was over some Rep TV clowning for the Eras tour, and now we're clowning about the Summer I Turned Pretty.
Yeah, the
That's
real
where we're
Rep
at.
TV was the clowning we did along the way, the friends we made along the way.
Literally, right? And now because Taylor owns her masters and all of her music, this is where we're at, you know? Clowning about Team Jeremiah or Team Conrad. Who will Belly end up with? No spoilers in the chat because Ammir and I have not read the books.
Yes.
So we literally have no idea.
So mods, please, can you keep on top of that as well? Because if we see any spoilers, I'm gonna cry.
Okay. I know. I still can't believe that you guys haven't had things spoiled yet. The fact that we went into episodes 1 and 2 and you didn't know what Jeremiah was gonna do is impressive.
Well, I'm also staying away from it. I'm not looking on anything TSITP online. I'm like, get away, you know. I'm staying away from it. Even our own comments on our videos, I'm like, Molly has to moderate. I'm like, how are we gonna make it? What, 8 more episodes?
Is it 8 more?
Yeah,
10 episodes?
9. 10. 9.
There's
more?
11 total. Yeah.
Oh, sick. Okay, we're sorted.
Yeah, it goes till September, so it's knocking on wood.
Got a lot to talk about.
That the spoils, will stay. But I feel like each hurdle you get through, you're like, all right, that didn't get spoiled. That was a shock. But obviously who she ends up with is the biggest. But I was very surprised watching episodes 1 and 2. As soon as it came out midnight Pacific Coast time, my time. So I watched both back to back and went to bed at 2 a.m.
That's wild.
I couldn't stop. I was like, we're just gonna watch one. And I was like, and then it auto played, and I was like, nah, let's just keep watching. So I guess the question I want to know first and foremost. So I'm sitting here with 2 fellow Team Jeremiahs. Ammir,
yes.
Are you still Team Jeremiah after watching episodes 1 and 2?
That's a very good question because I kind of am, but at the same time, before it was I'm all Team Jeremiah, I hate Conrad. Now I'm Conrad's a different person now.
He goes to therapy?
That's the first thing you name is that he works a lot.
I wrote it down. I took notes. Our listeners know that I'm big on my notes. Usually, again, it's clowning, but nope, now it's TSITP. Yeah, I literally wrote, I was like, the man is wearing a watch. Nothing is more adult. And a watch, a nice watch.
I didn't even notice that.
Clock me if I'm wrong, but I don't think he was wearing that. Yeah, it's just he checks it. He's looking at it. It's the most it's okay, you're a man. We got it, you know.
He took himself to therapy as well, though.
Dude, he's in therapy, and he's young. He's what? He's 21, supposed to be right now.
Yeah,
even at the end of college. Yeah.
No, he's a little older than that because
he's a year older than Jeremiah, though, right?
Yeah. So for anyone who has read the books, I read the books. and there's a lot of differences in the show to the books. There was like in seasons 1 and 2 there were a lot of differences as well, but I had just re-listened to the audiobook over the weekend to like get myself ready, and I think because it's so fresh in my brain, there are so many things that were different.
Okay.
So I'm not gonna go into all of them because for two people who haven't read the books, like it doesn't really make a difference for you. But the first thing that I want to tell you that is different is the timeline. So in the books, when book 3 starts, it's 2 years later in the
Okay.
books. And in
Yeah,
the
I gasped,
show,
and they
they're
were
making
like
it
3
4
years
years.
later. It was
There will
3.
it was kind of 3 because they like started you when Belly's going to college, but then they fast forwarded to the end of that year. So they like in the
Mm.
show, what we just watched in episodes 1 and 2 was like Jeremiah is about to graduate and Belly is about to go into her senior year. In the
Yeah.
books, she's finishing her freshman year and he's finishing his sophomore year. So it's like a really big
Oh.
difference. The whole graduation, like him not graduating and her going abroad, like that's all in the show, not in the books.
That's so
None of that happened.
weird.
Wait, true. Are they the
Yeah.
same age? I guess not,
He's a
because
year
otherwise,
older than her.
Yeah.
then how is he a senior and she's a freshman?
No, you're misunderstanding. So in the books, it's the end of her freshman year and the end of his sophomore year. And in the
Yeah.
show, it was the end of his senior year, the end of her junior year.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm missing. Yeah. Because, yeah, they quickly were like, we're going to college. They're like 3 years later. And I like wrote that down. I was like, 3? What? Okay. We're just. Whoop.
Yeah. So in the show, at the end of season 2, and in the book at the end of season 2, Belly's going into her senior year of high school, and Jeremiah is going into his freshman year of college. And in the books,
Mm,
you only go like 2 years further. But in the show, they've now jumped
gotcha.
basically 4 years. Like they catch you up on like, oh, Belly went to the same college as Jeremiah, and like Taylor's there too, and blah blah blah. But they like then fast forwarded straight to the end of college instead of in the books. It's only halfway through.
Okay.
Wait, that's wild that the study abroad thing is made up because it
And
feels like
him
it
not
takes over.
graduating, like none of that
That
happened.
Is that
takes
not
up
gonna like
half
put
the
a massive spanner in
energy.
the train in the like in the train works? Like, is it not gonna make things a lot more awkward going forward for the rest of the show? Like, why add such a
I
big
f-
thing to the plot? Like,
Right.
Right.
It added a lot to those first 2 episodes that was really interesting to me because I'm like, this is not it. And the reason that I think that they did it is because it made no sense that he would propose to Belly at the end of his sophomore year,
Bro.
the end of her freshman year. And so
yeah.
I feel like it makes a little more sense in reality that like he was supposed to graduate college and now he's proposing. We'll get to the proposal later, but like I feel like maybe that's why they changed it. I don't know.
I'm like, I'm sorry, but it still doesn't none of that matter to me because that was another note. I was like, okay, I know we'd seen the trailer where it alluded to her getting married, so I wasn't like shocked, but I was like, wait, y'all just got back together. Now is not the time. Maybe go like a week, get a vibe check, maybe regain the trust. I was like, this is the sloppiest, most non-romantic proposal I've ever seen. And the fact that she like knew it was coming, she was like, yes, yes. It's like I
Like,
was
how would you
not.
expect
I'm
that?
not
Like,
in any of that.
wild.
Not in
Yeah.
any of that. I don't even
Yeah,
care how old.
we'll
I don't care about college. I'm just like, now
we'll
is not
get
the
to the
time.
proposal, but
Now
like
is
that's
not the
just
time.
that's all very different and just the fact that they've doubled the amount of time now that Jeremiah and Belly have been together. Like again in the books it's been like just about 2 years whereas now in the show it's been 4 years. Like they doubled the length of their relationship.
That's
Right.
wild.
To make you feel better. And you're like, wow, okay, they're successful. I did have that thought. I'm like, well, clearly they've made it this long. Clearly she doesn't go back to Conrad at least right away because she's still with him. I don't know. Like clearly they figured their shit out. But yeah.
I can see why it feels more worse in the show now that I know that it was only 2 years in the books. Like, I feel like if you had sort of read it the books and you were like, okay, fairs, like they're quite early on in their relationship, like, but 4 years in, that's wild from Jeremiah. Like, I know I'm gonna be skipping ahead, but what he
Yeah,
did
I
was
just needed to give
wild.
you that context because they like the way they started it is different. Also, Ammir, I think some people in chat are saying your audio is a little lower than me and Ryan.
Okay, I can. Is this and wait? Let me turn it to any bit higher. How is this? Is this any better?
You still sound great to me, so we'll see
Yeah,
Okay.
you
if
sound fine to
what
me.
chat says.
Perfect. Yeah, sick. I've been having issues since like the other day as well. I recorded my new song react video, and I went back to edit it, and I'm so quiet the entire time, and I was like, no.
You could be like me when I used to do my solo clowning
'cause you're
videos,
so
and I was like whispering.
calming and
It was basically like unintentional ASMR. I'm like, okay, guys, so Rep TV. It's like, why are you whispering? I'm like, I'm just insecure even when I'm alone. I'm like, shh, quiet. No one can hear you. All right. So Conrad's in therapy. He wears a watch. I told Molly, I was like, he is the glow up. Also, he's in med school, or he's like efforting on getting into med school, whatever, being a doctor. I'm like, he is the glow up every girl wishes for a man, right? Like, he is the potential. You're like, this is what I see. If you just went to therapy, if you just, got it together, blah, 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 like, you could be this. That is him. Not realistic, but I'm here for it. He speaks different. He's like, oh, yes, like he's very like, he's a different man, and he's only like in his early 20s. I'm like, this is not realistic, but I don't care because I was pro Conrad before, and I'm glad my patience paid off because this is the outcome. You're giving women false hope, but it's okay. Also
Real.
when Conrad and Belly are hanging out, during the Christmas scene, they're acting like they're like 80 years old, like just calmly hanging out. I'm like, is that how early 20 something year olds hang out
that's
together
how
with?
Alex and I hang out.
Yeah, but you're not early 20s anymore. Like, I'm not judging it, but I'm like, if I saw the man who I was like in love with and had this passionate romance with for the first time, we're alone and we're like snowed in, I'm not going to be sitting across on the couch just.
But she's with
Like,
Jeremiah in
dating,
that
yeah,
flashback. She's
she's
dating
dating his
Jeremiah.
brother.
Doesn't matter. I mean, I don't
That
know.
was wild.
Also, I like that they teed it up where she was like, I have a secret too. And I'm like, uh-oh, what did she do with Conrad? And then it
Yeah,
was
see,
like,
I thought that. I was
nothing.
like, she's done something.
I
with
was
Conrad.
disappointed. I was like, this is weak.
So
Weak.
there, it's gonna be a fine balance for me and anyone else who's read the books to like not spoil what is to come. But the main takeaway from all of that is like that Belly's making that a big deal for her, right? Like, I have this secret. I saw Conrad, and when I looked at him, I knew I would always have feelings for him. But then, like, she doesn't tell Jeremiah that she saw Conrad at the beach house. Like,
Right.
that's the secret. It's like, why didn't you just say I went to the beach house and Conrad was there?
That happens in the books.
Yeah, that's
So,
accurate to
yeah.
the books.
It's because she's
Okay.
projecting. I don't remember her saying she said she'd always have feelings for him. Did she say that?
That was part of the flashback. Yeah, she's like, and then when we looked at each other, I knew that in my heart I would
I'll
always
still have a
have
bit.
feelings for Conrad
Yeah,
Fisher.
I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So she's
It's
just
when they were sat
projecting.
at the
It's like
table
nothing
and they were
happened,
like
but
eating. That's when she said it.
yeah. And then he just disappears. He just leaves.
It's her fiance's brother. It's kind of a problem.
They weren't engaged yet. To be fair, they weren't engaged yet.
True. Yeah, but it's still a bit crazy though. It was like, I think it wasn't not the Christmas before that as well, so like it was quite fresh as well.
Yeah. So
it was a few
again,
months.
yeah, it's like it was Christmas of the year that all this is going down.
Okay,
Yeah.
so it was quite fresh as well. Like, I feel like
It started weird when they were hanging out and she like fell on the ground and like it was
that
weird.
was cute.
I'm like,
though.
what? It was cute, but again, I think I'm just so thrown by who is this man? He acts so
a literal different
different.
person. It's wild.
I'm like, every time he spoke and did anything, I was like, you look the same, but you're not. And I was just thrown every time he like did anything, like in a good way. But I was just like, where's the emo? I'm walking away to exile, dude. You know what I mean? Like now he's like, oh, and like he just handled getting let go from his internship thing like so chill. Like, you know, it's fine. Like, let me just go tell Agnes about how like I'm in love with Belly, or like that whole scene was so cute when he was like talking about his love for her. I didn't realize he'd never told her that he loved her. I was like, oh,
That's
if you had, it would have been in game.
You throw back to that clip where he's like, "I thought you knew. I thought you knew." Do you remember on the beach? The one
Wait,
that like
which one?
the
Oh, like
beach.
season 1, right? When they
I
first,
think it's season 2.
I was thinking
Yeah.
season 2. Yeah, early.
yeah, they
Like
played in the
when he.
recap.
Can't remember when it was,
Yeah.
but when I rewatched it, I think it is like halfway through season 2, and I remember seeing that clip a few weeks before, and then when I saw it in the show again, I was like, I got that reference.
I thought you knew.
All right, so Ryan loves Conrad. Whatever, she can talk about him forever. Got it. Ammir, did your opinions of Conrad change
completely
much with?
completely changed. I went into it thinking, obviously I'm not gonna like Conrad, I'm gonna like Jeremiah and stuff, and Jerry's giving me like some little like some icks here and there, like nothing major, but just small ones. Like he's acting a bit more weirder this season. But Conrad, he's just living his
No,
best
he
life.
really is.
He's like,
Jeremiah's unchanged / like clingy.
Yeah.
Like,
slightly
bro,
worse than he already
chill.
was. Like,
chill, dude. He's exactly what he manifested in what I said. I was like, he's gonna get boring, blah blah blah. And you know, I literally wrote, I was like, vibes are so dull between Belly and Jer, and they're so unproblematic. This was before we find out about. I literally wrote it
to
down.
be unproblematic.
There's no spark. They're just like,
that's
it
the
was
way
just,
I loved you.
I don't know. It just wasn't, you know, there's no passion. It's like, you'll do, you know, that's like how Belly seems. Like, yeah, you'll do. Like, she doesn't seem, it's not me, it's her. She doesn't seem inspired, you know, by their relationship. You're like, yeah, I'll marry you, of course. Why wouldn't I? I'd be dumb not to. It's like, you know.
It's weird though. It's all weird, and the song choice.
Okay,
You're
yeah.
losing
So let's
me?
get
Okay,
back.
yeah.
Let's get back to like
The
the
song choice
Belly
of the
Jeremiah of it all.
engagement, but yeah, let's go.
Wait, what was the song choice for the
Benson
engagement again? I
Boone.
forget. Oh yeah. Well, it's like when they were dancing to Nelly in the beginning before the Lacey scene. I was like, all right, because I was waiting for a Taylor song in episode 2 and we didn't get one, and I was like, whatever, it's fine. Did you see that? I don't know the actress's name, but who plays Belly, that she had said, I guess she pitched a Taylor song to use in the show, and obviously we don't know which one, but she said she thinks it got used. Okay. I'm like, hopefully it wasn't You're Losing Me, since
because you're not a fan of where that was placed.
I was judging that choice.
Okay, yeah. So I feel like we've gotta like get into the Belly and Jeremiah of it all. Okay, so like first of all, let's start with like their fight and their breakup. Ammir, what were your thoughts on the whole Cabo thing and their breakup? For anyone who doesn't know, Belly and Jeremiah are chilling, and it's about to be spring break, and she sees that he gets an email that says he has a flight to Cabo, and she's like, I didn't know you were going to Cabo. And he said, oh, did I not tell you? Yeah, I'm going there with my frat. And she thought he was spending spring break with his family. She starts to guilt trip him about it. He says, well, you don't like my frat, so of course you're mad about this. And then they basically get into this whole fight and break up.
He says, you can come if you want. And she's like, no, I'm good. And then he says that sorority girls are going. And she's like, oh, okay, so they're going, just not like girlfriends. And then, yeah, they have this very dramatic back and forth. And he clearly says, like, pretty much like it's over.
Yeah.
And she's like, okay, fine. And he walks out. And so a normal couple would be like, we're not together.
Yeah.
There's no texting. He doesn't hit her up.
That's the thing.
Him up.
They don't
They're
speak
both
for like
games.
weeks on end. Like
1 week, I guess. I think when he went to, where did he go?
Cabo. He went to Cabo.
And then he came back, and they still hadn't spoken, and they bumped into each other or something. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, they both were just playing games.
I think it was about like 2 weeks or so, but So yeah,
what are your thoughts there?
In the books, it's about a week. It's like they break up right before spring break. He goes on spring break. She goes home. She cries over him for a week. And then they get back to school and she goes to make up with him. And so it was pretty similar in the show. Like how that all went down is pretty similar.
I would
Just
not have
for
had the restraint.
clarification, what is spring break? Is it like Easter holidays?
Oh,
you get a week off.
Yeah,
in like March or April, depending on where you live, when you're in school and college.
Yeah.
And usually it's when people go to like, I mean, if you do the cliche, like go to Mexico for a week or, I never did anything that cool for my spring breaks, but you just get a week off in the middle of spring.
Okay,
yeah,
that's chill.
Yeah,
depending on where you live, it's different.
Yeah, in America, you get time off around like November, you have Thanksgiving and Christmas, in December. And then you kind of have a long stretch until the summertime if you're in school. And so it's usually either March or April, depending on where you live, where you'll get a week off of classes.
Okay.
And yeah, some people just go somewhere warm. Some people just go home.
Yeah.
It just depends. And it tracks that Jeremiah would go to Cabo with his fraternity.
Like, where is Cabo?
So...
Like, where is that?
It's in Mexico.
Okay.
It's like a very cliche spot to go.
Okay.
Yeah. I grew up in Florida, so it's like my life was spring break. So, but I know a lot of like New Englanders, they're like, in New England, people are, it's still snowing and it's still cold. So it makes sense to go somewhere warm. I'm like, the beach, it's already warm. Like it's so hot by spring break time. So I never really did anything cliche. But yes, so of course you went to Cabo, for a week. It's like...
It's just a one big party usually, like especially by the time that you're in college. If you're one of the people who are going somewhere, everyone knows you're just going there to drink and party and whatever.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So she saw something coming in a way. Like she was like, "This is weird that he's going there."
She had a right to be sus about it for sure. For it to come out of nowhere and to be like, "I'm going to Cabo with the boys." Oh, and the sorority was there too. Yeah, I'd feel some type of way.
That's the one thing that stood out to me as well, because I didn't pick up on that originally. Like in the whole grand scheme of things, I was like, I feel like he made it clear that he broke up with her, and like they had an argument. It is what it is. But then someone pointed out, and they were like, he clearly forced the argument because he was going with the girls. I don't think he was planning anything, but it was weird that he didn't mention it at first that they were going to be there as well. Like, it isn't like, why didn't he just be like, yeah, the girls are coming as well? Like, they're 4 years into their relationship at this point. She shouldn't be doubting anything anyway, so he shouldn't even worry about that.
Very true.
Why not mention that?
Yeah, and in the books, they like explain it a little bit more, that it was more of a last minute change of plans that he decides to go on spring break rather than she sees him get an email. Like that's not how it went down. But he was still being a little shady about it either way, of like, I'm gonna do this. And the reason that she's mad at him isn't really about Cabo or that there's gonna be girls there. It's because, again, this is in the books, if this is only like almost 2 years later, he hasn't spent that much time with his dad since his mom passed away. And that's where she's coming at it from, was you're supposed to go spend time with your family. Your dad kind of needs you right now. Why are you choosing this over that? And it's not even really about the frat or the girls or whatever. She's just like, you were supposed to go home. And I was also like, we were going to see each other. You were going to go home. I was going to go home, and we were going to go to cousins. And now this other like new fun thing popped up, and you're just like abandoning your family. Like that's why she's pissed at him.
Yeah, I got
if that sheds more light on like the argument.
But he did see his dad like 3 or 4 months earlier at Christmas when they went skiing together.
Right. They went to Chamonix. Like, come on, dude. Also, his dad sounds like a like not the nicest person after how he handled him not graduating on time.
That surprised me. I thought he was going to answer it and it was going to be like, oh, no, I'm cool, blah, blah. I thought he was going to do like a full 180, but instead he started shouting.
I feel like my mom died. Like, give me a break. I know you can't keep using that, but I mean, I don't know. It's not that serious. Like, it's not like he failed a class. He literally, I mean, I don't know how you make that mistake. No offense. But
apparently it was one email that he didn't read, though. Apparently it was like,
I mean, I guess. But either way, his reaction. And I was like, 20 grand a semester, too. I was like, whoo.
private
It's
school in
like
some
doing them
New
out like,
England
oh
town.
my god.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
kind
And
of
well,
like
good
caught me off guard. I was
God.
like, oh, that makes sense why his dad's a bit angry, like he's having to pay.
Yeah, but his
for it.
dad's
Like,
loaded. I mean, come
true.
on.
his dad's just
They went
kind
to
of
Shama
a
for
jerk
Christmas.
though. Like
Mm.
Yeah.
from what we know about his dad, right? It's like season 1 you find out his dad cheated on his mom while she was in chemo. Season 2
Yeah.
they're fighting for their house and their dad wants to sell it without even like he wasn't even going to tell them. He was just going to put the cousin's house on the market, and then now here we are in season 3. It's like their dad just kind of sucks.
But then he bought it
So,
though. He saved the house. Right?
he ends up in the show, he ends up selling
Their
their like
original
childhood
house.
home so
Ah,
that they can,
okay.
he's like, you have to pick between one of them because
Mm.
we can't afford both. And the kids were like, I'll just use my trust that mom left to keep the house. And he's like, no, I'm not letting you pay for it with your trust, but we'll sell the Boston house because you guys are both going to be in college anyway. You're not going to be there, and like cousins will be the house. So like they get there, but for most of the season, he's totally unhelpful. He's like,
Yeah.
I don't
It took
care, we're
8
selling
whole
the house.
episodes for him to actually be like, okay,
Yeah.
I'll sell it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, so yeah, their dad totally sucks. But anyway, that's like
What was
just
really
a little bit more
cute, though-
context from the book about like why that fight was so big. I feel like they kind of rushed all of that
Okay.
in the show. So like if you didn't read the books, you're kind of like, that was a really random fight that led to them breaking up and not talking.
That's what I did think.
Yeah.
I was like, this is a really random argument. Why are they breaking up over this? Like, it's not that
They
deep.
handled it so wrong. Yeah.
Right.
And then the restraint to not text. It's like you really thought that y'all weren't broken up. Neither of you spoke for the whole week. And I know she called it a break, but like you have to openly say we're going on a break for it to be a break. That's not how breaks work. You don't just say you're on a break. It's like you sound like you're in denial that you got dumped. Like as someone who's been on a few breaks with people, you gotta confirm it's a break. Okay. You can't assume. Can't just announce it to yourself and the other person has no idea and they're like, we broke up. It's like, I thought we were on a break. It's not the same.
I mean, I also just think in general, like you guys were saying of you, like Ammir, you were team Jeremiah and now you're kind of getting the ick. Like that's kind of where you are in the book. And I feel like they portrayed that in the show too, of just like there were little things about Jeremiah that were starting to tick Belly off.
Okay.
And I think that Jeremiah felt that. And so again, there was just like so many other things that like went into the argument and the breakup. They're both kind of like sick of each other almost.
Okay.
And
yeah.
So
Well, it's funny that Conrad's in therapy because it's like, Jeremiah, why aren't you going to therapy, bro?
Yeah.
You're just as messed up.
That's not in the book. Conrad doesn't go to therapy in the book.
Wait, really?
Really? That's like such a critical, like right out the gate.
Part of the
you're
reason
like,
why I like him now.
Conrad's in
Like,
therapy. Yeah, we love a
taking care of
self-aware,
himself. Like,
right?
So the
Dang.
other important thing to know about book 3 is that like books 1 and 2 were all from Belly's perspective. And then in book 3, they do start to alternate back and forth between Belly's perspective and Conrad's perspective.
Okay.
So I think in the show, you're going to get a lot more of Conrad that like you didn't really get that in the first 2 seasons. You're seeing everything from Belly's perspective. And so that's why you started to see a lot more of that stuff now of him and like Agnes and those different things, because you do start to get his storyline separately of Belly's.
That's so telling though, because why aren't we getting Jeremiah's side?
Endgame, I know.
You know, come on. Didn't Twilight do the same thing? Didn't they have like an extra book where you started getting Edward's side? I know. I'm asking Molly. She hasn't read the books either.
I haven't read the book.
Anyway. I'm pretty sure they do that, but it's very telling. It's like, why aren't we getting Jeremiah's side? It's like,
okay.
Anyway.
So they have their fight, they break up, and go ahead, Ammir.
I was just gonna say, when after his dad has a go at Jeremiah, his phone call with Conrad was really cute. Like it was really sweet how Conrad was really nice to him and stuff about it. Like usually they were always arguing, and I think that was the first
Again,
proper
he's
time
grown.
we really
I'm like,
saw him being a big brother.
Yeah. Yeah, and then Jeremiah didn't know how to handle any of it. Like, and he just like took it out on Belly. He's like, I need to be alone, which I mean, I guess good for self-awareness and boundaries. Like, I'm not hating on that, but like, it just seems like he spirals and then he's like, I'm so sorry, I'm back anyway. Like, shouldn't have done that. Shouldn't have whatever. Shouldn't have slept with Lacey. Like, also, let's just not forget they broke up and we finally get our Taylor song. and it is your
No,
losing
that
me.
was
Wait,
that's
is that later?
yeah, that's not like they break
That's at
up
the
and
end
he
of
goes on
episode
spring
1.
break. Yeah. That was after Belly finds out.
Oh,
Yeah.
you're right. You're right. I was
Yeah.
like, wait,
So
that would
that's
have
what
made
I was
more
about to s-
sense if they heard
Yeah.
it then.
Yeah. So we all agree that they were officially broken up.
Yes,
That's
100%.
like
Yes.
a key thing.
110%,
Yeah.
Because she
bro.
says to him, if I knew that we weren't broken up, then you should have known it. I don't think that's fair.
That's not how that works.
Literally.
It's like, first of all, you guys both again dropped the ball. So it's like, you can't be mad at him because neither of y'all communicated anything. Y'all
Yeah.
literally went ghost on each other. So what happens in Cabo, gotta let it go. You know what I mean? I mean, granted, the way she found out, I could see getting mad and being like, I would be upset, but it'd be like, okay, let's have a conversation. Let's like talk through all of that. And then you realize, like, okay, y'all were broken up. And yeah, it's sleazy of him to have gone and just like hooked up with someone right away.
Yeah, awful.
But it's also
But
common. And it's like, at
not
least he said it didn't,
cheating.
at least he said it didn't mean anything, right? You know, even though they did it twice, though.
And it wasn't
Okay.
It
cheating.
meant nothing. I just needed to do it at least one more time. I know it wasn't cheating. It's just sucks.
Right.
Yeah.
So people who are not Team Jeremiah always call him a cheater, and I don't think that's fair. I don't think he
didn't
cheated on
cheat.
her.
He's
He's
just
a liar.
Scummy, yeah. It was
Yeah.
an
That's
ick.
the problem.
Yeah. Yeah.
So like the core problem in my mind is that before they got back together after spring break, he should have told her what happened.
Yeah.
Yes.
And he doesn't. And you can kind of see it play out in the show where she's like it's always been us, whatever, when she like goes to make up with him after spring break, and he's looking at her like, but Belly, and then he stops. Like
Yeah.
he was about to tell her, and she's so like ready to get back together that he's like, nah, I'm not
that's what
going
I
there.
think
It'll
is the
ruin
issue.
everything.
Like, I do agree in the sense of I think he should have said something, but I get why he didn't in the case of trying to save his relationship. Like, as someone as desperate as him, like I get why he turned around and was like, I'm just not going to mention it because if I mention this now, she's not getting back with me. Like,
but the girl is in your school, so it's like you
Yeah.
could get away with that maybe in another situation, but it's like, yeah, this girl's not going anywhere. And of
and
course,
maybe
girls are
like
gonna talk.
I feel like at least he should have maybe like in a week's time or something once things have cooled off a little to mention it. But like,
Yeah,
I
maybe
get
get back
why
together.
he did it straight away. Like it was like he's already like on the verge of like, are they going to be together or not? To him drop a massive bomb that he's already been seeing someone else. Like she wouldn't have turned around and been like, okay, yeah, let's make things work. She'd have been like, right, I guess that's the reason for it to be done.
Yeah,
hard to
Emma
say.
said in the chat he didn't want to hurt her, but it ended up hurting her more in the end. And I totally agree. Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of a lose-lose. It's like, yeah, she probably wouldn't have handled it well, but it's way worse. But then again, as she knows, she's also a little liar, you know, when she omitted, even though she didn't do anything, which makes it even more weird. It's like they're both just projecting their own guilt.
Yeah.
It's like he messed up. He didn't want to say. She didn't do anything with Conrad, but she knew internally how she felt with Conrad. And so she was just like, and she did that before Cabo. So, and she was like, yeah. So she started it. That's what I mean. Like they were so, the settling vibes were so strong when we first saw them in the beginning of the episode. And I called it even before any of this happened. I was like, they're giving like, yeah, this is cool. And turns out they got issues, as couples like that often do. You're like, they're so perfect, there's nothing wrong. It's like, below all of that, beneath all that, you know, they are very unhappy, and it's just starting to leak out now, you know.
That's why you're Team Conrad.
I am. I'm like mad that he's so like good now, because again, it's just not realistic. And I've been there so many times where I'm like, yeah, he is what you hope a man amounts to, who's got issues. But he's probably not going to, especially not at that age and not that quickly. Like that takes time, you know? But I'm here for it, you know, it's fine.
It just made me think of the Gracie lyric at Gracie and Taylor when in Us, when they say, and what seemed like fate, give it 10 months and you'll be past it. It's like, if you were to twist that and make it the Conrad version, it's like, and what was fate, give it 2 years and he'll be good. Like he'll be fine.
Dude.
2 years, a little bit of therapy.
Literally.
He got a job, and now
He's gonna be a
look at him.
doctor. Like, was that always in the plans? I don't know if we knew about that. I don't remember ever hearing about that. I
I
thought
feel
he
like
was
it
even like
was.
one minute he like was giving vibes like he wasn't even gonna go to college or stay in college because
I think season 2
he
was
wanted to
very
be at the
much
beach
like
house
Stanford. Like
yeah.
at the
Yeah.
end, he went for the exam, and that was like a really big thing. But
Mm.
Yeah, so he was at Brown, and then he like started to do poorly. Like he missed like the end of classes because the whole house thing, because he's trying to save the house. And then you find out that he actually got into Stanford, which was always his dream, but he didn't want to go all the way across the country right after Susanna died and like abandon his family. And then at the end of season 2, all of them say, "No, dude, go to Stanford. That was your dream. Go."
Yeah.
Or
I don't know if I
Princeton or
knew that's
whichever one it is.
why.
Something
no,
on the
it's
West
Stanford.
Coast.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
Stanford. It's what's he called?
Okay.
He goes to Princeton. Steven. Steven goes to Princeton.
Oh, Steven.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the maturity level to be like, I'm not going to my mom's. I don't really think it's mature, but like to be like, I'm not going to my mom's memorial thing because of like this internship or whatever. It's like, are you serious? Like,
He should have brought that
again,
up. Like that, I was
yeah.
like, this is irritating me. Why
That
are you
was
not just telling her?
annoying.
Like,
Yeah. Which is why she let him go. She's like, you're not ready for this. Like, set
Yeah.
boundaries, bro. Like,
that really
Yeah.
ground my gears, because I was like, these mistakes he's made, none of this would have happened if he just went and was like, oh, my mum's thing's going on, I'm gonna need a week off first. And she would have
Yeah.
been like, Carl,
This is my
why would
priority
she say
now.
no when someone's
Yeah.
family members died? Like, that's the one pass that like everyone gets everywhere. Like, if your
Right.
family member
And when
dies,
it's your
you can't stop them
mom,
from in it. Like,
yeah.
so,
I mean, yeah. I mean, clearly the lady was, pretty tough as we saw when she let him go immediately. But I mean, I think she also sensed when she was like, do you need to take the day? And he's like, I'm good. It's like,
yeah.
your friend got into a really bad car accident and you're like, I'm good. It's like, so I think she just saw more issues there. But yeah. So, okay. So then they also, how that happened when that they went to a party? Okay. I didn't like that.
Oh, sorry. Yes.
Jason?
Sorry. I thought you were talking about Conrad. The whole Conrad having this job thing is a totally new storyline.
Wait,
Really?
In the-
what?
Yeah. In
How
the
is it making
books.
this
In the
work?
books.
I know. I'm like, what else?
There's so much that's added, and I get it because the book is actually like kind of short, the third book. So
Okay.
for them to have 11 episodes, it does make sense that they're adding other things.
Trying to
But in
milk
the
it.
book, where you kind of pick up with Conrad is that he ends up being late to the Rose Garden dedication because his flight got delayed or something. But it
Wait,
was
so
kind of like,
spoiler alert, he's gonna be there.
Well, now he is because he got let go from his thing.
Yeah.
I was like,
yeah,
that's
sorry, that
convenient.
is a spoiler.
Well, it's convenient. When he got let
Okay.
go, I was like, oh,
I guess he can
now
be
he can
there.
go.
then,
Yeah.
but-
Yeah, so
Convenient.
in the books, that's kind of like that's where you see him in current day. I forget in the books if you already know about the Christmas flashback at that point or whatever, but so yeah, whatever. They're like contriving a different situation as to like why he may have not made it back in time, but it's kind of a will they, won't they? Will he be there? Will he not? Like Belly's wondering if she's going to see him that day or not in the books. So. But it's a big deal. Like all the families are going, and it's a really important thing. So I feel like
Because
that's
meanwhile,
going to
she has
be
no
what'll be in the next
idea.
episode.
Meanwhile, no one knows, minus Belly's mom, that he might not be going. Like it's so funny. It's like meanwhile, Belly assumes he's going to be
Well,
there.
he left a
Jeremiah hasn't
message
checked
for
his
Jeremiah.
voicemail. Yeah, I'm like, he hasn't checked his
Yeah.
voicemail yet. And
Yeah,
it's
Conrad's still a
resolved.
little avoidant. He couldn't even say Belly's name in therapy. Like, come on.
Side note though,
They're like,
side note. When he's in therapy and he mentions that, I saw a picture on Twitter. The shot of Belly is the same shot, I think, in season 1, episode 1, but it's more golden, it's warmer than it was originally. So like he sees her obviously more golden and like in more of a
It's
dreamy
golden.
way. So
and the whole conversation with Agnes about like, have you ever been in love? That did happen. So it's like it's the job part of it that's a new storyline, but otherwise, like he and Agnes like being friends and studying and whatever, like that was all in the books, and him revealing, yeah, I've only ever loved one girl and her name was Belly, like that part is there.
Agnes
So
is obviously obsessed with him. I mean, they briefly mentioned that I mean, like who wouldn't be? But she's just like, she seemed very like
They
aggressive when she was
mentioned it?
asking
Did
about
they?
Belly. They did one little like, she said something about him not being like available or not interested in dating or something, and she's like something about shooting her shot. I forget what she said, but
Oh, I
yeah, it was
missed
yeah,
very
they were
this.
quick.
Okay.
Yeah,
yeah, in the conversation they have at the bar, she says something like, well, I knew that you weren't ready for a relationship, like you made that clear or something. And in the
yeah,
books, you
yeah,
know that they basically were friends with benefits. They were like study buddies that hooked up
yeah,
sometimes, but that it was never an
yeah.
emotional connection. Like she knew he was in love with someone else.
Okay.
So
So
Yeah.
speaking of that, I wanted to take a little like tangent because I've noticed a few things about the new characters that they've added in, and I just wanted to put my thoughts out there. I feel like they were setting up like a love interest with Agnes and Conrad, but I also feel like Denise and Steven, something's there as well. I feel
Who's
like
Denise?
the girl who works with Steven, who's like,
Oh, for a
there's
second I thought
something
she was
there.
Mia. Oh my
Oh
god, yeah.
yeah.
When they kept saying like Mia, like his girlfriend, who we never see.
Hmm.
That's weird. Ever. Who is she? We don't know.
I'm so curious.
I
Like, yeah,
thought
if we're
that
gonna
was
see her or not.
her.
Yeah.
And I was like, that would make sense. But yeah, that his finance chick, who's also his manager.
Yeah.
Come on. Like you report to me. I was like, this is problematic. Also, her
Innit?
vibe is so annoying. I'm like, ugh, do people actually act like this? Like
But
that
that's what
aggressive?
you know
Like,
they're gonna fall for each other because they were like,
oh
"Ooh,
my
I hate you, I
god.
hate you," and then like it's
Oh
him
yeah.
and
And
Taylor all over again.
when he said that he broke up with his girlfriend, her brief pause of like, and then it was like, I don't want to hear about your personal life. I was like, she is so
Yeah,
annoying.
she's.
So annoying. I get what they're trying to do, but it's just so over the top. I'm like, who
Hmm.
acts like this? Like, for real. That's not playing it cool. That's just being like, anyway, I digress. Yeah. I don't even know her name. Not a big fan of her. Denise.
Denise,
Yeah.
yeah.
Her.
And the other new characters we've got are Annika, Lacey, and Redbird, which I find it so weird that his name's Redbird. Like, is that a nickname? Is that his actual name?
Which one's Redbird?
Redbird's
I
the
think
guy who's Jeremiah's best mate, the one with the mustache, and he's
it's
playing
like
on
they're
his
like
Xbox
playing
when they're
video
talking.
games
Yeah,
and
Oh, that's
I
when they did
didn't.
like a Code Redbird or something, and I didn't know what they were talking about.
I
Where
think
was
his name's Redbird,
yeah, his
No,
name's
I heard
Redbird.
something
but
Redbird. I don't know.
I know what you're on about. But I thought that as well. But then after looking up the new characters, he's called Redbird, which makes no
That's
sense to
Yeah,
weird.
me.
that's his
Like,
name. It's his nickname in the books too.
okay,
Yeah, he's
nickname
just like
though,
one of Jeremiah's best friends in the frat.
and we never know his actual name.
I don't think so.
It's Cam
Like
Cameron all
Belly
over
calls him
again.
Redbird in the books. Yeah.
Okay. I didn't like him at first. He gave me weird vibes at first, but then when he was sitting down and talking to Jeremiah whilst he's playing his games, he turned out to be like really like, I guess like he just like didn't see it as, oh yeah, I'm just gonna talk to my friend and like make sure he feels better. He was very much like transparent and unbiased about the whole situation, and I was like, I respect him for that. Like
Mm.
he saw both sides and he just tried helping his friend out by just being that person who actually gives him both sides of the argument, and I was like, that's a good friend
Yeah, he
there.
said if you're really this torn up about it, if she's really the center of your universe, then go prove it to her. Like, why are you talking to me?
Literally. Like, he turned out to be a G. I was like, you know what, fair enough.
So yeah, the Lacey, when she finds out about Lacey like through the bathroom door at the party, that was in the books.
Yeah,
I
so
was
the way
like,
that all
really?
went down, was very accurate to the books of the fact that she gets to the party and she and Jeremiah are having fun, whatever, and that at one point she and Jeremiah talk to Lacey, and you kind of tell that he's trying to move the conversation along so that they don't talk for very long, and then yeah, she goes upstairs to go to the bathroom. And she hears through the door what happens in Cabo stays in Cabo.
So lame. I was like, really? But again, I'm like, I guess how else do you find these things out in these in these shows or books? But yeah. And then we get
Argument.
You're Losing Me. Yeah, we get the argument, and then we get You're Losing Me. And I audibly gasped when I heard You're Losing Me because I love that song. But as we were discussing before the show, it wasn't the right song to use. The only thing that applied was the title and that lyric, You're Losing Me. Yes, in that moment, he was. But if you've ever heard the song, that is not what it's about. And that situation did not apply. And like Molly, you'd said, should have said no. Come on.
I don't
Tee
really
it
think
up.
Should Have Said No would have worked in this show. I just think that it's like the lyrics
but
of Should Have Said
still.
No apply more. My main problem with it, like I love You're Losing Me, and I think that it could have worked. I just wish they would have chosen like a different part of it, or like had it slowly build up, like use the
Yeah.
instrumental
Yeah.
of like, and
Right.
it was like a little bit of the lyrics and the dialogue overlapped a little bit too much for me, and it made it
wasn't
end up
well
feeling a little
used.
rushed. Like
Yeah.
I wish that they had like let it build and then been like, stop, you're losing
Yeah,
me.
just a
And,
little
like as she's like
heartbeat.
running and it's slow-mo or something. Yeah.
And then it
I
cuts to the
just
credits and it's like, how long? And it's like, oh, you're just gonna start it, and then it just ends, and you're like, way to
yeah.
not.
I feel like it
'Cause they
could
knew
have
the song. Yeah.
I feel like it could have worked better just with like slightly different editing. I feel like it didn't hit the way that I wanted it to.
Yeah.
Hear
And
me
again, not
out.
the right song. Illicit Affairs. Like there's so many other songs.
I was just gonna say, like, if we
Think
really were gonna
about-
commit with Should Have Said No, we could have had like an acoustic version of Should Have Said No.
Dude.
Like, imagine just like
Yeah.
a slowed down version of it.
It was kind of disappointing for the show that obviously does Taylor's songs justice.
So, yeah.
That was an L, but I mean,
I don't know.
Again,
I kind of disagree
love
on that, to be
song.
honest. Like,
I was gonna say I feel like Ammir has a different take.
I'm still upset. I was rewatching it, right? And I was because first, so basically, for context, before I started watching the show at all, I knew there was a scene where there's snow on a beach, and then I knew there was also gonna be the song played by a different point. And then I was speaking to someone, and they were like, "Yeah, but where they did put it made so much sense." I rewatched it and finally like picked up on where they actually put it. I can't remember where it was now, but I was like, "This
It's
did
like in
not
the
make
party
sense."
scene at their house.
Yeah, I was like, this is an awful placement. Put it when there was snow at the beach. Like, it fit perfectly there.
Yes.
Like, I was
It's
so thrown off by
so
it.
funny that they did that. Yeah.
And apparently, I feel like someone mentioned how, like, oh yeah, but like, it connects to that scene or something. I was watching it. This did not connect at all. There were two different characters and everything. I was like, yeah, this is peak. So, I feel like they make some good choices. They make some bad choices. And this might be one of the bad sides, but... Hopefully we
But
get
so
some
you
better
like You're
choices.
Losing Me though. You like that choice.
I liked the vibe, but I do see what you mean by the lyrics. The song itself is technically a bad choice, but the vibe that it had with the instrumental and stuff, like the slowed down and like they should have had something slowed down anyway. Like it felt like one of those moments where it was going so like heated and it was crescendoing to then have like boom, boom, heartbeat, like slow down kind of beat. And I was like, I like that. That's what I liked about it.
I need to rewatch that scene again. Yeah.
To me, You're Losing Me would have worked better like with Belly and Conrad in season 2 when she's like saying,
how long can we be a sad song?
Yeah, when either when they break up around prom, which I guess You're Losing Me wasn't out. No, it was out.
2023.
It was barely out. It came out in 2023, so they probably.
I think at that point it was only on the CD from the Eras tour.
Yeah. So they probably wouldn't have even known about. But yeah, so I guess they couldn't have used it then. But to me, it's more of a Belly Conrad initial breakup song where how long can we be a sad song? Like that whole part of the song, whereas the whole Jeremiah thing is more about cheating, and You're Losing Me is not really about cheating.
Not about cheating at all. Yeah. It's just about dragging something out, which her and Conrad did do many times. And I'm like, you and Jeremiah were good until like 5 seconds ago.
Literally.
So I'm like, not the vibe of this song, but it's okay.
Yeah, like to me, I actually pictured like Hits Different could have been good, not to, like promote our namesake, but like I pictured you with other girls and threw up on the street. Like she literally puked.
To be fair, yeah.
You're right.
Oh, my love is a lie. It
Speaking
hits
of
different
that,
because it's you. Like she said, you were the one person who was never supposed to hurt me, and you did.
yeah.
Like, yeah.
Also, can we just talk about the quote which I wrote down? I was like, I'm not gonna keep mentioning Twilight, but I'm sorry, this was so lame. And I'm like, please tell me it's in the book because
Okay.
otherwise, why? When Jeremiah was still trying to get back with Belly and they were broken up or whatever, and he said when he was talking to Redbird, and he was like, "Sorry if I don't have the energy to be alive," and I was like, get over yourself. Like, but he said it so casually. Like, he wasn't like, it's like normally you wouldn't joke about that, but you're like, he's like, sorry, I don't have the energy to be alive. I'm like, okay. Like,
he's just a bit icky this season. Like everything he says,
yeah,
just
he
is a bit...
sucks. But I mean, it's like, is that what happens when you have a guy who's so unproblematic and so like, I love you? It's like, that sucks, like the ball is dropped. Meanwhile, Conrad showed you himself the whole time. So
no, we didn't. Ryan is so revisionist history because she watched the first 2 seasons so long ago. She's like, was Conrad even going to college? Yes.
Conrad was awful in the first 2 seasons.
He was what he was, though. He was problematic. He was what he was. He was avoidant. He was problematic. He was emotional. He was moody. That's what I mean. Like, he never was something that he wasn't. Whereas Jeremiah,
but he never said how he really felt.
Is now.
That was my problem with Conrad. Yeah,
they're both very different to what they were last season, though. Like,
I mean, he never communicated, and he did a lot of things wrong. I'm just saying, like, it wasn't everything he did. You're like, that's Conrad.
Yeah.
And then Jeremiah, I felt like, was this like squeaky clean, I love you forever, I'm gonna go to your volleyball practice and stay, and I'm just gonna be this devoted boyfriend for years, as we see in episode 1, and then all of a sudden he's like, I'm gonna go hook up with this chick 2 days after we call it.
Yeah.
Like
a
what
bit
the
of
heck?
a character assassination, just a bit. Like,
yeah,
it's when
I mean,
like
they did
they're
him
in the car
dirty,
dancing and singing and stuff as well. I was like, this is what I expect from the rest of the relationship, and then suddenly it's not, and they're like, actually, you know what? I'm a completely different person now. I'm just a bit irritated now. I was like, I don't like it.
Right, I can't handle my emotions. Every time I spiral, I take it out on you, and then I apologize, and it's like, once again, at least Conrad was like in your face about it and was like, I suck at dealing with my emotions. And Jeremiah was like so good.
Conrad never said that. He just like wouldn't speak. But
no, he just knew that. I didn't say he said that. I'm saying that's just what he gave you. I'm just saying that's what he gave you. Whereas Jeremiah was always,
my mind.
Jeremiah was always so like adult and just like carried everything and like
okay. So I have to be clear. I totally agree with you guys that like the way that, and this is why I was very careful to phrase my questions to you guys in our preview episode that we did of like going into season 3, what team are you on? Because then when season 3 starts, it picks up in a very different spot than where we left off. And there is a lot of difference in the characters. So I feel like that's an important thing, especially if you're someone who hasn't read the books and don't know what happens. It's like, the show actually made Conrad even worse in seasons 1 and 2, in my opinion, than how he was in the books. Like,
that's what I've heard as well.
Yeah, like I already didn't like how he treated Belly in the books, but watching it in the show was worse. And then now it's kind of flip-flopped where it's like, in the books, I didn't like what happened with Jeremiah and Belly, but the way they played it out in the show so far, it feels even worse. Because here's another breaking news for you of what they've changed, okay? And it changed, to me, this changes a lot. In the books, Belly has not slept with any brother when all of this goes down. She and Conrad
I thought she was
never
a virgin.
In the books, she is.
Did we know that she hooked up with Conrad?
Yeah, the fireplace
in the show
scene.
in season 2, they implied that she and Conrad slept together at the beach house.
Yeah.
That's what that weird flashback was about. I was like, what was that? Oh, okay.
Yeah, Ryan needs
It
to
was
go
a-
back and rewatch some stuff. I'm gonna send you a link that's gonna like give you like a 10-minute recap of seasons 1 and 2, so you
Oh
can
yeah, because
remember
you see
some.
that
How
scene
much did
in
they
season
show
3
in the
as well.
fireplace?
It cuts to the fireplace, isn't it?
Yeah,
yeah,
when she's like, you
Mhm.
should light
that's
a
the
fire, and they're like,
scene.
no. Wait, so was
Yeah.
it? I don't.
We
Did-
saw
was
that
the-
in season 2. We saw them like go to the beach house, and in season 2, they very heavily imply that like she loses her virginity to Conrad at the beach house,
Oh.
and that never happened in the books.
All right, I need
So,
to
like,
rewatch that.
That's wild. Okay.
So when she and because when she and Jeremiah start dating in the books, she's a virgin. She hasn't slept with anyone, and added layer, she and Jeremiah have not slept together yet. So like Jeremiah is not a virgin. He had hooked up with
Right.
people before he and Belly started dating. Belly hasn't slept with anyone. So when he goes and cheats on her, he and Belly have never slept together. And then like after that, they also don't sleep together. Like at the time that she finds out that how she feels that he cheated, whatever. At the time that she finds all of that out, they still have not slept together. And I feel like that added a whole extra
That's
layer
way
to all of
worse.
this in the show. Because it makes it seem like he slept with Lacey and then came back and kept sleeping with Belly and never told her he slept with someone else.
Yeah, no,
Like
I get
that's
that.
how I feel like they're portraying it, and none of that layers were added in the book. And so even her saying like, I've only slept with one other person, not in the book.
But my
She's like, how
counterpoint
important
is,
sex is to me because like we haven't even had it yet, and you went and slept with someone else as soon as you could. Basically, is how she felt like.
but I feel like that, in my opinion, the book way is worse because
Worse, yeah.
because
Same.
because she's waiting and she's still
Yeah.
waiting after they're together for like 2-3 years, and then he's just gonna sleep with
Yeah.
someone. So that
Right.
in my
That's
opinion
way
But I
worse.
also feel like it makes more
He's
sense
ickier
in the
than we
books.
thought.
I feel like it makes more sense in the books why he did sleep with someone,
Yeah,
though,
'cause
because it's like he was someone
impulsive
who
and
was
stuff,
like
and
sexually
yeah.
active. Then
Right.
he's been like celibate with Belly for 2 years. They break up. He's drunk and sad in Cabo, and some girl throws herself at him, and he's like, "Well, I guess I can have sex now." So
No, yeah.
I get that.
Yeah.
But
that
it
is way
also,
worse,
I see
yeah.
why Belly would be more pissed in the
Yeah.
books. Like,
If I had
I'd be like,
hooked
"Hey,
up
yo,
with
you
my boyfriend,
what?"
oh, cool, you finally were free and you were that like, you needed to get your fix. Sorry, I've been depriving you for 3 years. Yeah, that would make me
Yeah.
so insecure.
Yeah.
So good to know Jeremiah's worse than he's being presented as. But
no, I actually
Yeah.
think that it's worse in the show because it makes it seem like he was sleeping with Belly, went to Cabo, slept with someone else, and then came back and slept with Belly. And
but
to
that's
me,
still
that's
more
even
like
worse.
But they
normal,
broke
I
up
feel like.
though.
No, because
Yeah,
if
they
you've been with
broke
your
up.
partner for like,
Broke
but
up.
if you're Belly and you started sleeping with him again after you got back together and you didn't know he had slept with someone else, like that is a worse betrayal
Mm,
to me.
no, as long as they use protection. I mean, keeping it clean, I don't know.
Respect.
But like honestly, like as long as you don't give me something after you just went and ran around for like, I mean, I get it. But yeah, if we'd never done anything, I would have been way, way more messed up over that for sure. I'd be so insecure.
Like,
I'd be like,
crash
I thought
out
you were
central,
good with this decision. I knew how you were before we got together, and I'm shocked that you've been able to wait this long, but clearly you couldn't. So yeah, that would mess me up way.
because then
worse.
it literally is a case of like clearly she was holding him back then, isn't it? Like,
because I could see myself pulling a Jeremiah, like being like breaking up for a week and then going to hook up with someone and coming back and being avoidant, not wanting to admit to my mistake because it's like, well, we were broken up. So, like, was it a mistake? And then obviously, inevitably sleeping with my partner again once we get back together. And I'd be like, people do
I
that
guess
all
where I'm
the
coming
time.
from is like, I feel like if you have been with someone the way they're setting up in the book or in the show is that like they've been together for 4 years and been intimate, and then like you said, then after a couple of days he goes and sleeps with someone else. Like to me, that's way worse than like we're together for 2 years. That was never a part of our relationship, and like and now I'm free to do whatever I want, and I want to go get some. Like
I still
It's
think
sleazy,
it's
but it's like
bad.
peak
I
rebound.
think,
Yeah.
I still
It's
think
just
it's
like
really
normal
bad, and like
behavior.
I'd crash out as well. But I
yeah,
feel
it's bad all
like
around either way.
Yeah. Yeah. The book's way worse though, in my opinion. Yeah. So I'm like, wow, they made Jeremiah look a little bit more relatable,
I'd have
in
an
my opinion.
existential crisis if I was the book version of Belly. Whereas like if
Yeah, I don't
I
think
was the show version,
I think it'd be
I'd crash
over.
out. Like,
I don't know how I'd get back with him, honestly.
Yeah.
But
I'd be
also
like-
like if I'm Jeremiah and I knew that like in the show version, if I'm Jeremiah and I know that Belly slept with my brother, like I'm not dating her. Like that to me, that changes like the
That's
whole dynamic of them getting together. Like it only made sense to me in the book that she could bounce back and forth because all she'd ever done with either of them really was like kiss.
Yeah, actually, you know
So-
what? It's so like she is a bit of a red flag, isn't she? Like,
yes,
but also like
100%.
how like clearly he finds it uncomfortable that she slept with his brother. So then how is he with her? Like I feel like that's kind of something that haunts you. And I read somewhere someone called Conrad his boogeyman, and I was like, that's so accurate. Like
His what?
his boogeyman, like I don't know how to describe it.
it's like he can't shake the fact that
Mhm.
he has like imposter syndrome that he thinks Belly likes Conrad more because she did pick
Right.
Conrad over him already. And he feels like he's second place because Belly's only choosing him because Conrad was no longer an option. Like
Which
that's
is
why in the
true.
second season he tries to be so clear about like you and Conrad need to figure your stuff out before we could ever have a chance because what if he turned around tomorrow and said that he loved you? Like, would you just leave me then? Because you've already done that before. And she's like, no, I promise. Like, we are over. And it's like, clearly not, because then why didn't you tell him you saw her at
yeah.
Which is why it's so funny that like you see him in like episode 1, like they're doing great. He's obsessed with her. And then all of a sudden they hit that point where it's like things don't seem as happy as they were before. They're both kind of over it, but they're still doing it. And it's like clearly, I remember like when we talked about this in the pre-show or the pre-show before we watched the season, and I was worried that Belly was going to break Jeremiah's heart because she was going to mess around and go back to Conrad, which I still think is going to happen. But now I don't feel bad for him. I'm like, boy, please, you are just as problematic as everyone involved in this love triangle, and I no longer feel bad for you. And
it was
if she
so
breaks
hard
your
for me to
heart-
not laugh when you were making those predictions and you were like Jeremiah's not gonna break Belly's heart, and I'm just like, dude, you
that's
don't
why
know.
That's why I watched episode 1 and I literally was like, what is going on? I did not
Honestly,
predict this.
it would be so funny for people to go back and watch our preview episode now because
do.
like Ryan was like, well, now I feel like I know what happens because of how Molly's reacting, and I'm like, you do not.
And we talked about which songs that they would use this season, and I said we talked about like All Too Well 10-minute version, and I'm like, who would that be about? I was like, no way is it going to be about Jeremiah like breaking up with Belly. And I was like, oh no, like what if it's her, like, you know, she makes him feel like a crumpled up piece of paper. No. I mean, I think that's still gonna happen now. I still think I think now she's gonna pick Conrad for sure, but like I don't feel bad for Jeremiah. Move it along, you know, in this madness. Pick who you want to be with, and then it won't be weird. And then Jeremiah will eventually find someone that he actually vibes with, and then everyone will be happy. You know, maybe he'll vibe with Agnes. I don't know. Like, you know, there's a girl, or like there's a girl for him out there that's
He'll
not
vibe
Belly.
with
Like,
Agnes.
it almost feels competitive at this point. Like, yeah, I got Belly and I still got her. It's like,
yeah, I feel
move
like they're
on.
both. I feel like they're both trying to convince themselves that they're the one for each other.
Yeah.
To like prove something to the
Right.
world.
Like,
Yeah.
oh, well, I picked you over Conrad. It's like, well, you settled for him because Conrad didn't want you. And then Jeremiah's like, at one point in time, he did want Belly. But I do think now he's like,
I think
yeah,
that he
you
wants
just
her. I just think that
proposed?
I think that he has imposter syndrome. I think he knows that, like Ammir said, that Conrad is like always there.
Yeah. It always goes back to him. Hot take though. I feel weird saying this, but I feel like Conrad, I'd rather him find someone better because I feel like he now deserves someone more healthier. Like he's moved on, he's healed,
True.
he's a better
Jeremiah
person
deserves
now.
Belly.
Yeah, in my opinion, I
They're
feel
both
like they're
problematic.
both a bit
You're
problematic
right.
now. Whereas I feel like
You're right.
I don't know if Agnes is the girl because Agnes seems like she's a
she's
bit
kind of the
obsessive,
woman.
and yeah,
Yeah.
she's a bit irritating at times. But I feel like he deserves someone who's just more simple. I don't know. Do you know what I mean? Like a bit more chill and like
Unproblematic.
yeah.
Yeah. just a pretty girl who's maybe a nurse, like working
Yeah.
at the hospital. I don't know, like,
Agnes, if she was written slightly better.
Yeah, she was too much when she was like, tell me more about Belly and how you're feeling. 'Cause I'm like, if I was Conrad, I'd be like, where did this come from? And like, give me a break, dude. I'm in therapy because I'm trying to talk through my feelings, and you're just like pressuring me to tell you about my first and only love. Like, okay, like this isn't a competition, you never had a shot. So, but it was really sweet though, and it was like, dang, he still loves her. He
Yeah.
still loves her.
All
He
right,
loves her.
so
Unrequited love.
I know we've already been going for like an hour, and it's like past 2 a.m. for Ammir,
That's
but
fine.
I feel like we have to talk about the engagement like before we wrap this up.
We also need to talk about
because
Steven and Taylor because we've not mentioned them at all.
Yes.
yeah, like the Steven and Taylor like leads to the engagement. So
Yeah.
like, what are your thoughts on Steven and Taylor?
Ammir, go first.
I like it's the second it's kicked off and like their side story started, like with the whole them sleeping together, I was like, okay, they're back on. And then I find out one has a partner, and then I find out the other has a partner as well, and they're both cheating. And I was like, you're both a little messed up now. I am not siding with either of you right now. This isn't cool on either end. But then they both still love each other and they're still doing this. And then Steven's gone out of his way, yeah, and he's broken up with his girlfriend. And then they're like, okay, yeah. What is Taylor still doing? Taylor becomes such a big red flag at that point. But then she then brings it back to the same excuse. Oh, I can't tell you how I feel. I'm too scared that you're gonna like think I'm as bad as I feel like I am and stuff. She mentioned that in season 1, I'm pretty sure it was like episode 7 or 8 when their first situation happens. And now I'm sat here like, why are you doing this again? Like, she cried and I felt really bad for her, and I was like, oh, I hope they do sort it out, and it is what it is, and hopefully he heard everything whilst he was asleep because he was in a coma, and that's what usually happens. But then now that I'm thinking about it, I why is she still going on about this? Like, it feels weird. It feels like now that I'm like, it's been a little bit of a time and I've processed it a little more. They argued and he got in an accident in front of her. That's like karma for her. Like, now she realizes that she really has been messing around with him, and him acting the way he did fares. Like, he was chasing after her and he got hit by a car. Yeah, that is a sign. I agree with him. That's a sign. Maybe you need to stop. But they are kind of endgame at the same time. I just feel like the whole both of them cheating on their partners again is a side plot that just shouldn't have happened. And like, I don't know why they keep breaking up when they're both just in love with each other, and it's been like 4 years now. It's been 4 years in the show as well, and they've been like hooking up and stuff.
Yeah, they don't really
On?
like, they didn't really give any context as to why they both think it doesn't work together. I'm like, wait, can we get the backstory of like why
Yeah, I
y'all
wanted
broke
to know
up?
who broke up
Because you
with
didn't
who.
tell
Yeah,
us.
I thought I missed something. I was like, why'd they break up in the first place?
Yeah, because
Do they say it in the
they
books?
sleep together, and you're like, oh yeah, they're still together from when they made out when they first moved in. Because Belly moves in, and then she sees him outside making out, and then from there you don't know that they've
Right.
broken up, and then you find out that they both got separate partners after they've slept together, and you're like, wait, what?
Right.
And
They're acting like a couple. He's like, can I spend the night? Can I be cute? Can I do this? Can I do that? And I'm
that
like,
gave me
what
this.
is
I
wrong
got
with
such an
you?
ick when.
Also, I like when he wakes up and he's like, I've been thinking about this since I woke up. Really? You almost died? You were just in a coma, and since you've been awake, I don't know, 5 minutes, all you've been thinking about is like he wakes up and he's like, you know what? I'm done with Taylor. I'm not doing it anymore. I'm like, really? That's your first thought? Like, when he said that, I was like, y'all's priorities are not aligned. Y'all, they're not good.
If
Okay.
I was
I
hit by
kind
a
of
car, I
understand
wouldn't
him
even
being
have that
like,
conversation until like way after, once I've healed and like,
Yeah.
leave it on pause.
Yeah.
Like, don't bring it
Like,
up. Just deal with like
I'm glad to be alive. A
life-threatening
brain
accident.
bruise,
Like, innit?
bro. Come on. Like,
Literally.
I got where he was coming from in the sense of like, wow, you made me do something really stupid that like risked my life. Like, I need to let this go. Because before he got into the car accident, she's literally like, I don't want to be with you. Let me get out of the freaking car. And he's like, all right, man. I guess I need to let this go.
She
But yeah, I mean,
flips out.
it's just it's
Like,
just the typical trope of like Ammir saying, "Be honest with each other. You both just love each other, and you're
Yeah.
both just
innit?
Well, that
scared.
too,
Just be
yeah.
honest."
I'd be pissed if I was him. I would have been like, "Get out of here. Like, I cannot see you right now.
The way
Like,
she
I can't."
screamed just before she jumped out of the car, like I was like, that's just that feels like a step too far.
Y'all are
That
toxic.
feels like I, if someone screamed at me like that, I'm like, right, I'm done. Let's just not speak to each other ever again, because like clearly there's a line that's being crossed, and like at that point there's no
I
going
hate that
back. Like it was like a visceral scream at him, like let me get out, and I was like, this feels wrong in so many ways. Like,
I hate that I'm rooting for them. I hate it because
Right.
but I love love and I love their love more than I love the love of anybody else on the show because I love Steven. And I'm like, Taylor
yeah,
does not deserve him. I'm sorry.
yeah.
Like, but also, yeah, he's also toxic though. Why was he with Mia? Why is he playing these games? Like, you're way smarter than this, so you kind of
Mm,
deserve each other. But they are peak toxic relationship. And they're a
yeah.
bad example of what you should not be doing. And so I'm like, why am I rooting for them? I'm like, but also just stop. And then when
But
she like
you're thinking like
they love him.
you're thinking that he's more unproblematic, but quick refresher for you from seasons 1 and 2 is that he is seeing someone, and then Taylor comes into town and visits them at the beach house,
And he
and he ends up
cheats.
making out with her at a party while he's with someone else. And
Okay.
Belly's like, "Why is my brother making out with my best friend?" And vice versa. Like, why is my best friend making out with my
Yeah.
brother? It was her birthday weekend. So
Mm.
Steven started it off in a problematic way because Taylor had
Mm,
a crush on him forever because it's her best friend's older brother, blah, blah, blah. And he took advantage of that when he was with someone else. Like, that's how it all started.
yeah. And for the
So
first
I
two
think
seasons,
that's,
I was
and then
Team
he
Taylor.
chooses the other girl. Like, he goes to the debutante ball with the other girl. Like, nothing ever happens with Taylor for a
Yeah.
while. And then in season 2, Taylor has a boyfriend. And because she's unavailable, then Steven is interested in
And he's
her and
bad
like
with it as
starts fighting for
well.
her.
Like he's
Yeah.
there, like
So
pulling the phone off her while she's on a FaceTime with a boyfriend and stuff. Rewatching that, I was like, how did this boyfriend not crash out at any point before he did? Like he snatched the phone off Taylor and then starts like taking the piss out of her current boyfriend, and he's just there like, yeah, 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 yeah. I'm like, what?
yeah. It's kind of the same as like Conrad and Belly, where Belly was into Conrad for so long and Taylor was into Steven for so long. And it wasn't until Belly started being interested in other people that Conrad realized, oh shoot, I should do something about this. Like,
Mhm.
oh, I think I like her. And that's how Steven was with Taylor. So I think that's why Taylor also has like imposter syndrome. And she's like, I just worry that he's not doesn't he can't handle me and that he might walk away because he's already done it to her before.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely forgot all of that.
But like
He's
Never
very
it
mind.
sweet
didn't.
right now, like, but yeah.
Yeah, the character switch up is throwing me off for everyone in this
That's
season.
what I mean.
Like,
Literally
I don't really
everyone.
like
I was like,
anyone. I'm like, all of y'all got issues.
yeah,
Yeah,
100%. I feel like
like
Conrad actually has the
everyone.
least issues. Weirdly enough, like he's
I
actually just
know.
doing his thing. I'm like,
He's enjoyable to watch. You're like, I have no notes. Like,
I-
again, not realistic, but no notes.
yeah,
Like,
I had
And
fun with all
Priya
the
says
scenes.
that Conrad's loved her since they were kids. Yeah, we start to figure that out now, but when at the time when we were kind of seeing
Wait,
him in
what?
season like that's what he just said in like these first 2 episodes. He's like, I you don't even really know. There's just like one day. It's like you
how'd you
wake
guys
from a
meet?
dream and
Ugh.
blah blah blah.
Yeah.
But like when all of it's going down in seasons 1 and 2, you don't really know that that's how he felt. It comes off as
Mm,
like
Yeah.
Belly comes into her own and Cameron comes around and is into her, and now Conrad's and Jeremiah both start to get jealous that she has
yeah.
someone, and then they both start kind of fighting over her.
Well,
After that
Jeremiah,
she
scene.
can
they did
daughter, you
confirm it
know.
though that Jeremiah confirmed it in season 2 when he talking to his mum that he realized he loved Belly that opening shot when they arrived to the beach that year for the summer she turned pretty.
Mm.
So like I back his case of like he didn't do it because his brother was with her. Like he fell in love with her just before then. So like when people
Yeah,
are
I
like,
think that they
yeah,
both started to realize they liked Belly like at the start of that summer.
He
Yeah.
just didn't know how to handle his feelings, you know. And then his mom died. Yeah, when he was explaining to Agnes about like, yeah, like you just wake up and like I'm
Like, you
like,
woke up from a
man,
dream.
imagine being Agnes and being like, she's probably in love with you because y'all been doing this for a few years, and like that's like the worst thing to hear is like how he felt about Belly. I'm like, gut wrenching, but also, wow.
Do you
I was eating
reckon
it up.
Agnes is gonna start trying to like, if things get a bit more rocky with Jeremiah and Belly, and she starts getting close with Conrad? Do you reckon Agnes is gonna try and like sabotage and like try and like make Conrad not like Belly so that she can get with Belly? She can get with Conrad.
I could see her like intervening to be supportive since
I
she kind of
feel like
knows like,
she secretly wants him, so I feel like she could turn into that
oh well, yeah.
that friend who like is just trying to sabotage just so that they can make themselves seem to be better and stuff, and be like, "Oh no, don't get with her. She's horrible." Or like, "Or you're really gonna start being friends with her again? Have you seen how she treated your brother?" Blah blah.
Yeah.
I feel like she's giving the girl who it's like you belong with me, Taylor. It's like I'll be here for you when you realize that that's not the girl for you.
Right? I'll be patiently waiting for years.
She wears short skirts, I wear t-shirts, like, you know, although
Yeah,
Belly
maybe
wears
a freaking
t-shirts, but you know what I mean.
doctor, dude.
Okay, so the car crash happens. Steven and Taylor don't know how to express their feelings. Again, book difference here. The whole Steven Taylor dating and like even being together is not in the book. Like them making out at the party
Really?
and on Belly's birthday, I think was in the book, but like their whole plot line has changed.
The
And
car
this
accident didn't
car
happen?
accident doesn't happen in the book.
Wow.
Yeah, Ammir.
Wow.
No,
Imagine my
there's
face.
no way. There's no
I'm
way.
dead serious. The whole hospital thing and like Conrad calling in a favor,
That
not
was so
never
goofy
happened.
and unnecessary. They didn't need to do that. And then
Because
you get
again, he
fired
doesn't
from
have
your
this
job
job in the
anyway.
book. So like
Yeah.
the job is new, the car accident is new, and like and Jeremiah coming and waiting at the hospital, like all of that not in the books.
What Jeremiah did though, sweetest thing ever. I've got
That
to
was
say, like
cute.
I wouldn't.
Yeah.
I don't think
That was
would have even thought
redeeming.
about that in that situation. Like my guy was just like, I'm just gonna sit in the lobby, and if she needs me, she knows I'm around. Like that's crazy cute.
I was disappointed that A, she didn't go out there eventually. Like,
Yeah.
you're being a jerk. I don't
Mm.
care that you don't want to talk to him. Like, this man is anyway. And then when she finally sees him again, it's so lackluster. I was expecting like she's vulnerable, she's going through it, she's distraught, she's alone. You like feel all of that. And I'm just like waiting for the moment where she walks out there and she just like melts into his arms and she starts crying, and that never happened. It was just
Want to
like,
get some air?
sup, you know, yeah. I was like, this sucks. So that it just started there, and I was like, don't like this, and it just got worse and worse and worse. And I was like, that is not the reunion I wanted. That ain't it. Ain't it. I'd be like, girl, I've been here for like 24 hours. Like, this is how you say hello. Like, you don't even want to hug, nothing. Not a fan. So mad. Did not set the scene.
Yeah, I agree. I wish that she would have like they would have kind of like rushed together and she would like cried because she has all this emotion to
Yeah.
release from her brother being in the hospital.
God. And you feel it, and then just like, nope. Nope. He's
Yeah,
not
so
gonna be a hero.
how'd you feel about their little walk?
Like the walk to the proposal. It was awful. It started bad, it ended bad. The whole thing was just, I didn't feel any, I felt dead inside.
Just go for a quick
I
walk
felt
outside of the hospital.
I felt dead inside during that whole scene. And I was like, am
Wait
I
a
okay?
minute.
I was like, am I all right? Am I alive? I felt nothing.
The proposal was outside the hospital. For
Yeah,
some
she's
reason,
literally
I
like,
don't
"You
know
wanna go."
why I've gaslit myself into thinking that it was out like at college, like when they went back to college.
No, well, at least how I interpreted it, again, this is a deviation from the book, but how I interpreted it was he's in a waiting room. She's been by Steven's room.
Yeah.
She comes, meets him in the lobby or whatever, and then she says, "Want to get some air?" And they go and they're walking outside of the hospital, like down the steps, and then she's like,
Ah,
I get why you thought we were broken up, blah blah blah. Like they're still at the hospital is what I thought.
okay. I at that point, I think so much had happened that everything started to like melt into one a little. But
Yeah.
before we get
I think
on
I was
to
so
their
thrown off by their
proposal,
first interaction.
she did crash out to someone over the phone, and it was her mum who just slept with her dad. I want them to go out together. I want them to go out
They're
together.
cute. Yeah. Does that happen in the books? Like that whole
I don't think
What?
so.
Okay.
Like if
why?
it does, it's not in the third book because I just re-listened to the third book. Yeah, that they're divorced in the books. I don't know where
Okay.
that came from.
Unnecessary. It's like, why then? Why are we doing
Dude,
this? You couldn't think of a
there was so much that was added. I was going through it. I'm like, what is going on?
Just
It's
pure
probably because they like
whiplash.
started at one spot and they're like, okay, how do we make this make sense? So it's like, how do we make her mom unavailable? She's always available. I know. She'll be hooking up with her dad, and that's why she can't respond. It's like you have to keep feeling, it's like a runaway train. It's like, I know. It's like when you keep making stuff up. It's like that. Yeah, that makes sense. It felt like a runaway train. You're like, whoa, it's just like won't stop. And one weird decision after another. You're like, okay,
Yeah,
cool.
I mean, I agreed that I thought that they were really cute, and that whole scene
The
was
gym
like,
scene was
I was
cute.
down. I was down with it. Yeah, that was hilarious. Like
It
that
came out of
they just like
nowhere
steal a
though.
bottle of wine and yeah, one thing leads to another. So
It came out of nowhere. I was like, this is a thing? They're
I
vibing
feel
now?
like
Okay. I
he's
thought she
trying to
was
get
with the
back with
dude
her.
from the book thing.
See,
Oh, for
I
sure.
thought that. I was like, where is he? Like, where's he gone? Because he was halfway through the second season, he was still around. And then at some
Yeah.
point, he just disappears. And I'm like, they're really cute together as well. Like,
Now there's a new book guy who they briefly
I
introduced
know.
at the thing.
I wasn't a fan of him. He doesn't give the same vibes as
Apparently
the original book
literature is
guy.
where the dudes are, I guess. You gotta work in, there's always one out there waiting around. Yeah, that whole thing was, and then she's like, and then when she tells the dad, like, Steven was in a car accident, and he's just kind of like, but he's okay. I'm like, your reaction is
like, why didn't she put it on speakerphone? Like,
right.
I think she
well,
didn't want
because
to.
she's like,
Obviously, yeah.
Yeah.
She's like, I'll go and find your dad and let him know.
He had such a dad reaction. I mean, just like, oh, okay. He's good though. Sick.
yeah, I mean, like he could have stayed quiet. She didn't have to reveal that he was in the room, but she's literally like not letting him hear that something tragic just happened to their son, and she's like, "Give me a minute." I'm like, put it on
in that
speaker so we can hear
situation, you'd put it on
what's going
speaker straight away, wouldn't you? Like,
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. And then Belly's freaking out. Where were you? I tried to call you.
I mean, like, I would probably feel that way. I'm like, if I've been calling you all night and my brother was in a car accident,
And her mom's
like,
always
what the heck?
available. Again, that's why they
Yeah.
had to make up this whole crazy story. Because like you said, if none of that happened in the first place, like the crash, this, that, it's like, how do we make her mom uncharacteristic by not being available? I know. She'll hook up with the dad, and this will be a
and
new
they're both
storyline. 'Cause
unavailable.
why not? Right. Yeah, exactly. They're both unavailable. Yeah, I
It's
guess
so
that's how you cross that off.
she must.
How else would
They
they be
must
unavailable?
know. Like,
Yeah.
I did think that was very realistic and like good acting by Lola though, of like the release of like, oh my gosh, I'm finally talking to my mom and can like what is going on, because she's been trying to hold it together because of Taylor, because
Right.
Taylor's equally upset. And so then
Right.
it's like she has that moment with her mom that like we all wish she had almost with Jeremiah.
Right. But then she goes and sees Jeremiah, and I'm like, again, that is not how I would have reacted. I would have been like, in that moment, I'd be like, dang, like my person. Like, why are we even fighting? What does it even matter? Like, wow, you waited out here for over however long. Like, all of it would have just disappeared. And then, but again, they didn't even have that moment. It was like, hey, what's up? He's doing fine. Anyway, let's go outside.
to be
Will
fair,
you
now that
marry
you
me?
mention that,
Like, what?
she says to Taylor, like I can't even talk to Jeremiah. Like, he's the guy who usually calms me down in the situation and stuff. We
Right?
don't
That's
get
why it's,
that. We don't get that when
yeah.
they meet. Like he's just like,
And Taylor's like, you can go talk to him, and Belly's like, I'm good. Like, the restraint that she has is admirable. The restraint of not texting him when they were on a break, the restraint of him being right outside, like however far away in the lobby when you're going through a very traumatic thing. Like, the restraint and ego is strong with her, which is probably why I started to not like her as much. I'm like, girl, get it together, okay? Like, feel the feelings or don't. I don't know, because that's not how I would have behaved in any way. Like, there's no way.
So what
So
do you
yeah.
think of them making up and getting engaged? Ammir.
I did not like going into it. I was looking. I had a feeling based on what we saw in the trailers that sometime over these 3 years they will have gotten married and they would already be married by the time it's gone for 3 years and we'd get flashbacks to when they got married and stuff. And then I was like, okay, they're not married then. And then when they get engaged, I was like, well, this feels like I I did like it irritated me because like when we were speaking about this earlier and like a couple of weeks ago, I mentioned how I thought, oh yeah, well maybe now that she's in a stable relationship, she might want to lock it down because she's been in toxic relationships beforehand. And Ryan was like, no, I don't believe you. And but that's literally not what happened. Like, if anything, they were like super toxic, and then they were like, "All right, let's get married because we're gonna break up again if we don't get married." Like, you know what? That's why I think they locked it down was because see when he cheated on her, I was like, okay, how are they gonna get married now? And then I was like, what if he proposes and uses the excuse, well, this way we can't have these miscommunications about breaking up because we're going to be married. So we can't miscommunicate
Literally.
breaking up. So that's actually how I thought it'd go down. But then they just
And
got
he's like, I'll
married
spend
really
the rest of
rushed.
my life earning your trust back. Marry me.
Yeah, like
Maybe
this
let's give it
way,
a minute.
I'll never cheat on you, and you know I'll never cheat on you. But at the same time, like I don't know, it just felt so like rushed, and I I could have seen it going so many different ways and not the way that it did actually go. Like the one thing that just grabbed my gears, my guy just like stands in front of him and is like, yeah, will you marry me? Man didn't even get on his knees. He didn't have a ring. He didn't prepare the
Bruh.
slightest. He was just like, you know what? What can I do? What can I pull out? That's actually gonna work right now. And he's like, I guess we're getting married. Like, I don't know what else to say right now. And she was like,
I mean, she
yeah.
interrupted him. She didn't care. She was like, yes. And he's like, let me finish.
I
It's
thought he
like,
was gonna ask her again and be like, "Yeah, will you marry me?" And then she's gonna be like, "Wait, I thought you was going about something else." And I was gonna be like, "This would be funny," but no, yeah, that's so weird.
so how does he propose in the books then? Because they're not at the hospital, because the hospital doesn't exist. So then I'm like, so then where does he?
Okay, so in the books, she finds out about the cheating. Whether you want to call it cheating or not, whatever, that's just the easiest
The
way to refer to it.
incident.
The incident. She finds out about Lacey. And she like locks herself in her room, doesn't eat, whatever. She tells Taylor and Annika about it, and she's heartbroken. And again, in the book, this is the end of her freshman year and the end of Jeremiah's sophomore year. So they're supposed to still have like 2 more years of college together, blah, blah, blah. And yeah, so she just basically goes through like several days. I don't remember how many days, but several days of him trying to reach out to her. I think he tries to come over and see her, whatever, she won't see him. And then finally, after days, when she finally does let him like come to her room and talk to her, and he apologizes, whatever, he's groveling, and then he does get down on one knee. He basically says what I was just saying, like, I never wanted to hurt you. I hate myself for doing this. I will do whatever it takes to earn your trust. Like, it's you and me. It's always been you, blah, blah, blah. And he gets down on one knee and he has a ring.
Oh.
Yeah. And it's like she didn't think that that's where it was going to go. But then she's like,
When
oh.
obviously
And
he
so
bought
he
it probably
has a ring, and then
before.
they agree, like, we'll get married and we'll live off campus together next year. Like, because she was supposed to room with Annika and a couple other girls, which they kind of did play into that storyline slightly with the whole study abroad thing, where Annika's like, oh, it's fine. Like, I'll find another roommate. But that's like what Belly's the most concerned about is like, oh, I told Annika I was gonna live with her in the book. Like that's what she's worried about. And now I'm gonna get married and go live with Jeremiah off campus. And so the way that it all goes down in the moment, you already know as the reader, like, they're too young for this. This is not the solution. Like, maybe live together, sure. But
Yeah,
again, it's like a band-aid over a bullet hole. It's like living together isn't gonna earn back the trust of the fact that he cheated on you or that you feel that he cheated on you.
absolutely not. Or like be engaged, let it ride out, find out you're not compatible because you're not, and then break up the engagement. Like, why
Yeah.
rush that in any sense, especially now? Like, because we talked about in our last episode before the season of like, oh yeah, like we think they're gonna get married because of the trailer, and like obviously it's happening soon, and like trying to rationalize it, and now it's like even worse. It's like y'all did not need to do this. She's not pregnant. She's not going to be a vampire. All the reasons. Conrad's not dead. Everyone's alive and well. The actual reason why they're getting married is not good. It ain't it. It's so bad. And the timing, I can't even imagine coming off of a breakup, getting back together, and in that interaction, having him propose and me being all about it and being like,
She's a red
this is
flag.
exactly what we need.
And oh,
I'm
by the way, I haven't
bad, but I'm
slept
not that
because my
bad.
brother was in a car accident last night. Like in the
Right.
book, in the book, this is all just about Belly and Jeremiah up until this point. There's basically none of these other subplots exist. Again, you get the Christmas flashback and you're starting to get a little bit of like the Conrad perspective of him talking to Agnes, but otherwise the first several chapters of the book are all focused about like Belly going to Finch and making that decision, trying to make new friends, blah blah blah. And then now fast forward and you learn about Cabo through like her finding out about it at the party and stuff. And so like none of these other things are going on. And so like the fact that they added in all of this stuff and her brother was in a coma and now Jeremiah's proposing, I'm like, this makes it even worse. Like it was already
Yeah.
crazy that he proposed to her to try to get back together. But now
The book is
with
way
all of
better.
this, now
Yeah.
with all of this going on, it's like, bro, I'm just trying to make sure my brother is good, like doesn't have a brain injury.
Clearly she doesn't care, dude. Like,
No, she's all about
clearly.
it.
No, like she doesn't care about like her brother. Like at that point, like she's chill. She's moved on. She's like, he's gonna be fine. He's awake. Oh, okay. I mean, sure. Can we like come down from this for a sec? Can he get out of the hospital? Like y'all's priorities. In the 5 minutes I've been awake, I've been thinking, Taylor, you're not it. And then she's like, my brother's alive. He's fine. And then like the dad's like the mom to the dad, don't worry, Steven's fine. It's like, okay, everyone, like, we move on very quick. Like the resiliency is strong with these people. But yeah, the book
it
version
felt
sounds
very
better, even though
rushed.
still bad. Yeah,
Yeah,
very
because
rushed.
in the show, they basically make it seem like she finds out about Lacey, like, and then the same night Steven gets into the car accident, and then she spends the night at the hospital, and then the next day they get back together. And in the books, again, it's like several days later, after lots of crying and lots of processing and blah blah blah, and Jeremiah reaching out and trying to talk to her, then she finally lets him back in. And I feel like that makes a lot more sense.
Right.
It wasn't just
you.
like the next day she's like, yeah, I guess like I understand where you're coming from.
Yeah. Oh, just I
Yeah.
think I'm still team Jeremiah in the sense that I think him and her deserve each other with how bad they both are. But
True,
I
leave
think
Conrad out of it, dude.
I'm team
Leave him
Conrad in the
out of
sense
it.
that I think he deserves someone better, and I want him to have a happy ending. But I don't want it to be.
He wouldn't have
with
done any
her.
of that.
I want it to be with somebody
He
else.
literally,
Like,
yeah.
he deserves better. He doesn't want to get back into that mess. Like, Belly's gonna be
Yeah.
so toxic. Like, the roles have reversed. Like, he's gonna be the chill one. Like, he
Right.
needs something better. Like,
they would have, if they'd broken everything. If you replace Jeremiah with Conrad wouldn't have gone and hooked up with Lacey. He wouldn't even have gone to Cabo. He would have canceled it, and then he would have gone and been emo at the cousins, the beach house for a week alone and all avoidant, whatever. Come back and been like, I love you, I guess. And then whatever. And then like he never would have proposed. It would have been very different. So it's just like, yeah, Conrad would never behave that way. And he behaves in a lot of bad ways, or has. It's like Jeremiah's just wildin'. Yeah. It's like, what is the rush? But again, him and Belly, they deserve each other because they're both wildin', you know? She doesn't know what is going on. And I mean, even when she's talking about maybe not going to Paris because I need to be here to look after you. Like, you know, your mom, I promised your mom I'd watch. He's a man, okay? I know he's still in college, but like, this is not your life. Like, you don't need to baby him and mother him. But if that's what you want to do, girl, go off. You know, I guess. Like, problematic. Problematic.
Yeah, that's my core problem with Jeremiah and Belly, especially in the show version, is I understand when in the conversation of him being like, I'm not graduating on time, that she's not like, I'm going to Paris. But the fact that she literally changed, like, okay, yeah, hold that information for later because he's going through it right now. But the fact that she was going to change her mind about going to Paris and not even tell him she got into the program. It's like, y'all have problems if you can't talk about this.
For real. And you're picking a man over this once in a lifetime opportunity. And also, if he told you not to go, you would have said, okay. And you wouldn't have gone. And like, you even worrying that he's going to be mad and tell you not to go, red flag. Like,
and that real,
bro.
Yeah, because that wasn't part of the book.
Because they're gonna get married.
Well, if it doesn't happen in the book, then it's gonna just fall off, just like everything else. It's gonna just be like, remember
that's
when?
What I was gonna say.
I know.
Yeah.
Like Emily in Paris.
That's what I was gonna say when they like threw that whole storyline in. I was like, how are they gonna make Jeremiah react to this when he does find out? Because the way that they're building his character right now, I expected him to react terribly.
I know he reacted so well, and you're like,
and I was like, okay, they gave him a positive moment to be supportive of her.
5 seconds later, oh, Lacey, oh, what's over here? Oh, you're like, and we're back. Like, yeah, this book / show. I mean, this happens often. It's like these are all really bad role models for people in relationships. No one take the advice of any of these people. Okay.
Yeah, Ryan.
It's not, as someone who's been through it, even I can be like, I wouldn't do half of these things, and I've done a lot, but not this.
I agree. Everyone's
especially that age. Yeah, they're all just don't do any of it. Again, Conrad's the angel now, but like, yeah, you got Steven and Taylor. Don't do that. That's just like two toxic people. They're just proving like toxicity wins.
That's
and you can
thing,
just like
though,
dodge red flags because if they're your person, they're your person. It doesn't matter. It's like, don't.
Thing is, like you said though, everyone like is Team Conrad, and everyone's like, oh yeah, but he'll get better. It's calm, and now that's getting justified because he is better and everyone else is worse. So now everyone's gonna be like, oh yeah, well the toxic guy always gets better.
I know, which again, not realistic. They're teaching girls to like, okay, get married quickly. It doesn't matter to prove your love. Like that's what you need to do to like really lock it in so you won't cheat on you again or whatever. Or, you know, don't worry, this guy, like he'll be better in a few years. Just give him some time. No.
To pay for his therapy, you'll be fine.
All of it. Absolutely not.
It's like when, do you guys remember when Speak Now Taylor's version came out and we got Foolish One? There were a lot of people making jokes like, if only I had gotten Foolish One when I was a teenager instead of Enchanted, maybe my life could have been a little different.
Right?
I love the song Enchanted, by the way. It's like not about that. It's just like the storyline of like, I was enchanted to meet you. And then it's like, Foolish One. It's like Taylor left that one off the album. She said, no, y'all keep dreaming. Like, have hope.
Right? Well, it's like we said earlier before the live stream of like Taylor just validates all of this bad beat. Taylor, of course, Taylor's tied into this show, right? Because we said she validates the toxicity as someone who has been toxic myself. It's like, then you have some of Taylor's songs and you're like, well, Taylor says it's okay. It's normal. It's common, I will say. Doesn't mean it's okay. And I don't think Taylor, is stoked with her past decisions, just like I'm not. But it's like, it is
She's just
validating.
honest
You're like,
about it. Yeah.
You're like, well, Taylor did it, so I relate to Foolish One, but Taylor wrote it, so does she. So, it's okay. But yeah.
Well, do you have any predictions now? Do you want to change your predictions for the rest of the season? What's your take on how this is going to go and who she's going to end up with now that you have the big reveal that I was literally like, wait till you see these first 2 episodes because everything's going to change.
Yeah. I think that she's gonna... I feel like they're leading to an even bigger crash out when they get married, but I just want her to stay with Jeremiah and just keep their toxic side separate. And I want Conrad to be with someone else. Like, that's exactly how I think that's gonna happen? No, I think they're gonna be like, oh, Belly got with Conrad, and oh my god, they're so happy, and like, poor Conrad getting put through that. Like, he shouldn't be put with her.
I love how now you're protecting him. You're not Team Jeremiah. You're just like pro, like saving Conrad. Like,
he went through therapy.
He ends up with Jeremiah.
And, like,
dude, I know. I mean, I'm not. She is the last thing that man needs.
Like, man's put 4 years into work for it to be thrown in the bin California, because she's got issues with his little brother. Like, it's wild.
Yeah,
but I also want Denise and Steven to get together at some point. I kind of want him to get with Taylor at the end and be endgame kind of thing, but I want him to at least get with Denise and see what that situation's like. And I want her
hook it up with your boss.
I just feel like it'd be a very interesting dynamic just to see how that goes down. Like, especially with how she is right now. Like, I don't know how they do it, but I'm curious to see however they do it. And if this is all new storylines and stuff, I'm sure they're going to go down that route. Like, they wouldn't have written a character into it and then written a Taylor and Thingy's breakup to then not have him get with his boss who has
for sure
a bit of a
they're
toxic
teeing
thing
it
with
up.
him. Yeah, like but that's my predictions. What about you?
I think, hadn't you mentioned it before? I maybe in our prediction episode about like, oh, during the wedding, like, what if they play like Speak Now and it's like Conrad trying to break up the wedding? That's what I think. Because I'm like, there's no way they're getting married and then divorced unless all of a sudden they speed it up again and it's like 20 years later. I don't know. Like, I don't think they're going to escalate the timeline again, like keep speeding it up or jumping ahead. So it's like, I mean, maybe they do.
But we have 9 episodes. And apparently, according to Jenny, there isn't a single filler episode this season. Which makes no sense.
I don't think they're going to get married soon. I think it'll probably be at least like another episode or 2. Okay. Like, it'll be like the big annoying buildup of like, they got to tell everyone. Conrad has to crash out. Oh my God. The family. Oh, like maybe now he hooks up with Agnes. Oh, like now we got to prepare. Oh, well, we're going to have the wedding at the beach house because of course. And it's going to be this whole whatever. So maybe like episode 4, it'll be like the wedding or maybe 5, maybe. And then they're going to go through it. There's going to be some Conrad Belly BS where it's like, maybe he finally tells her this is how problematic the show is. He's going to tell her how he feels probably the day of her wedding or the night before. And she's going to be like, well, damn, if I had known. And then she's going to sit on it. And then last minute, she's going to be like, I can't go through with it.
But then we're still on episode 6, 7-ish if she gets married in episode 5. So like, what about the next?
It could keep going. Yeah, that's what I think is going to happen eventually. I can't say when or how soon they get married, but if they keep making up all this nonsense, I mean, they can fill it with like Taylor and Steven. They can fill it with Denise and they can fill it with all these weird storylines that we've been given now, like the mom and dad.
Yeah, just throw in some more car accidents.
Yeah, there's tons of drama they can keep plugging. So it's like I don't fear that we'll be, I feel like every episode also is going to be a runaway train. Because I remember watching episode 2 and being like, how is this going to top episode 1? And I was like, all right. End of episode 1, they're breaking up. You're losing me. End of episode 2, they're getting married. And I'm like, end of episode 3, what? Like, what's next?
Yeah,
Like,
literally.
that's how I feel like every episode's going to end. So yeah, that's my prediction. It feels right. It feels too right, actually. Like the toxicity of what I just described is probably exactly what happens. You're like, well, Belly's getting married tomorrow, and she's supposed to be with Jeremiah. You know, she's chosen him, and they're gonna be like, Conrad, you got to tell her how you feel. It's gonna be like the therapist, right? Since like he teed that up.
Keep in mind that Conrad did tell her that he still wanted her,
but then he pulled it back.
Chose Jeremiah.
But then,
she'd already made her choice. Like that's why he pulled it back, because she'd already made her choice.
But then when she said the little inner monologue of like, there Conrad goes,
I release
like
you from my heart.
He gives and he takes. It's like, yeah, if he'd like tried a little bit harder, she would have changed her mind. He didn't give enough. He was kind of like, here's the bait, and she was like, no, and he was like, I take it back, and she's like, I knew it. So he didn't really tell her how he felt. It was pretty weak, you know. But he's gonna really tell her because he's a man now and he wears a watch. He'd be like, Belly, I've loved you since the minute I set eyes on you 20 years ago. You Enchanted or whatever really romantic Taylor song, and you're like, oh my god, this is amazing. And she's gonna be
Ammir,
like,
did you notice that Conrad wore a watch?
Dude.
I had no idea.
Did anyone else notice that he plays around with it? I noticed it from the probably 5 seconds of seeing him. I was like,
has he never worn a watch before? Like a watch, just a watch. Like, is it that deep?
It is a grown man thing, okay? And we're not talking like that's not the watch that tracks your movement. It's not an Apple Watch. Fitbit, it's not none of that. No. It was like
this is like a Travis Kelce watch over here.
Yeah, it only does one thing. It tells time. It does nothing else. It just tells time. So
it does nothing else. It just tells time.
Yeah, crazy for a watch. No one wears a watch midnight. No one wears a watch that just tells time anymore. They're like, this thing can read my heart rate and tell me how I sleep and all this other stuff. A Garmin. That's what I was thinking. Like the Garmin watch. It's not that. Yeah. It's a watch. It's a man's watch. And he even checks it. He rolls up his little sleeve. Anyway. Everyone pay attention to the watch.
Ryan loves Conrad.
To my notes.
I have to, because Ammir and Ryan can't look at the chat because of potential spoilers, I have to shout out these two things before we wrap up. Okay. One is that Emma said Ryan ranting is my favorite thing ever. And I agree. Okay, this is why we started a podcast. 2 is that Olivia made a good point that I forgot to tell you guys. She said, I love Jeremiah, but the whole cheating on her twice thing threw me off. Other change from the book. In the book, he sleeps with Lacey on one night. That it was a one night stand. In the show, for whatever reason, he's like, it happened twice. And I feel like that's also a very big difference. So
I feel like it's more believable that it was twice, though. I don't know why. I just feel like if you're away and you've done it once, you're gonna crash out and you're gonna do it again. I feel like, and then
it's hard to say it
didn't
mean anything if you're doing it twice, though. You're
yeah,
like,
no,
you must like it enough.
He's like, I hated myself. I cried in the shower after, and I'm like, and then he did it again.
And he did it again. Yeah,
right.
No, yeah.
Because it wasn't the same night.
You, actually,
we know it was not the same night. It was like, and they're only there for a week, so it's like, so maybe you had a drunk night, fine, but then what? You sobered up the next day. Y'all ended up back in the same situation.
Yeah, because it's like it's 2 whole separate times, isn't it? It's not like twice at the same time.
Right. There's no
in the show, apparently.
Yeah. That would be weird if that's what I guess we don't know, but there's no way.
There was no way he was gonna be like say yes twice when he literally just meant like all in one go. He wouldn't have clarified that. I feel like that's not something you'd clarify. So yeah, I feel like
it's like y'all had a Bachelor in Paradise situation for the week. That's what they did. And then that's why she came back being like, yeah, like Jeremiah and I, it's like, yeah, I would be thinking something too. And then, I know it meant nothing to him, but still.
All down.
I still can't believe she's a virgin in the book. That's like so much worse.
Yeah,
they really did him dirty. They were like, so anyway, Jeremiah, he ain't it.
No wonder people hate him.
Don't trust anyone, right? You're like, oh, the good guys always lose, you know? But I guess this guy's not a good guy. It's like he got us, pulled the wool over our eyes. Not mine, but everybody else. You know,
I mean,
Conrad would
Belly
never.
kind of hit the nail on the head when she said, "Don't put your inferiority complex on me." It's like he has an inferiority complex about Conrad, not just with Belly and Conrad, but in general. Like
Mhm.
Conrad in life and Jeremiah in life and like in their family and with their dad and blah 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 blah. But then when she says don't put it on me, it's like, well, you also contributed to it. So I mean
You literally put that in his head of like it's you versus him.
yeah, it's
And I'm
like
gonna
you
pick him,
literally
not
like
pick
made
you.
out with Jeremiah multiple times, and then Conrad was like, yo, I actually like you, and you were like, bye Jeremiah. So yeah. Like
And you only got picked out of default, so which is why she's not going to marry him, because Conrad is going to finally step up and say his feelings. That's all it takes for Belly. That's all she's waiting on. She's waiting for that moment because she's
But
toxic.
he's matured though. He's not going to. He's gonna realize.
Agnes
you know
is going to
what?
push
I
him over the
don't
edge.
need
She
her.
keeps interrogating him, you know? He's like, wait a second. She's the only one I've ever loved. I still love her.
I swear, if
You
she's
know?
the reason that he goes back to, oh my god, I'm gonna crash out.
Because I think he's buried all these feelings. He's
Yeah.
compartmentalized, and he's like, wait a second. And he's talking to his therapist. It's like all of a sudden he's waking up to it. He's like, oh my God. Oh, also, last thing, the shade about the puka shell bracelet was Taylor that was like, all you did was get her this like puka shell bracelet when you're out here hooking up. I was like, that is hilarious.
She ripped
But
into him in that
also,
scene. Like she went
bruh,
in.
dude, I know. I love that. Oh my God. But it's so
I've done that
true.
before. I've done that before to one of my friend, like a guy in my friend's life, and it felt so good.
I thought you
Like,
meant you
when
cheated and you got a puka shell, like a consolation prize. I was like, you did? Molly, come on.
This is a regular occurrence that Ryan thinks whatever thing I'm about to say is way more interesting than it is.
Like, wow, okay.
No, like a guy who treated my friend poorly that I got to like chew them out, and it feels so good. So when Taylor was doing it, I was like, get after it, Taylor. But I will say
Yeah,
the
I
puka shell
know.
bracelet is part of the book. It's like it's a thing where Belly is like, oh, it's so cute, like he was thinking of me and he brought it back, and then she finds out he cheated and she's like, what the heck is this dumb bracelet? Are you
Taylor's like, get
serious
out of
right
here.
now?"
Also, can we talk about the fact that Conrad got her an infinity sign necklace, and all she gets from Jeremiah is some stupid puka shell bracelet 4 years
Okay,
into their relationship? Come on.
Okay, no one said that's the only gift he's ever given her. Calm down.
Saying Conrad wasn't even dating her, and he got her that. So
Didn't even want to give it to
Okay,
her.
but
though.
he didn't give it to her. Yeah.
He,
Oh,
he was
okay,
so
yeah.
toxic.
He
like-
he bought it and kept it hidden, and she only accidentally found it. Like
Yeah,
he
that
made her
was-
think that he forgot her birthday and didn't get her anything,
Yeah,
and
that was
then she only found it because she was looking for car keys. Like
so much.
And then at the end, force it upon her, like, take it, I don't want it. She's like, I don't want it. He's like, take it. And she's like, okay. Ah. It's okay though. He's not, you know, he's a better man.
I
They should
wonder
play
when we're
Better
gonna see
Man
that necklace
about
again.
Jeremiah.
Better
I
Man would have
know.
been a
That's a good
really
shout.
good song for the cheating
Yes.
post. Yeah.
Right.
I just wish you were a better
actually.
man.
It's true because he
Or-
shocked us all. We thought he'd be a better
Mhm.
man. Better man's for the men that shock you. You're like, wait.
Yeah. They should have had like Belly crying in her bed and have been like, sometimes in the middle of the night.
Oh.
Mm.
Better man matched up with should have said no. Blew it. Blew it. What are they doing? Who produced the show? We had so many outcomes, and then they didn't even play a Taylor song in the second episode. I was like, they better tighten up.
Yeah,
Like,
I was
Lucky this is
shocked.
entertaining because where's the Taylor song? First, you know.
And for
Well, they
some
did play
reason, I just
Lacey, though.
didn't.
That was perfect.
That was gut wrenching. As soon as we find out, show opens up again with Lacey. I was like, "Are you really gonna be this on the nose?" Like, Like you're gonna because obviously at this point she's seen Lacey as well, and the whole song Lacey is about like Lacey being way prettier than her, and she wishes she was Lacey and everything. So now we're making us feel like, oh, Belly's feeling like this about this Lacey, like she feels like this Lacey is like a million times better than her and everything, and it's like, oh, why? Perfect choice though, perfect choice. That's one that I'll give, like that was amazing.
And the "I Wish I Hated You" by Ariana Grande, I thought that was
Yes.
really well done too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The wedding song now. Well, it's not going to happen because we're not going to get married, but she's still going to walk down the aisle. You know, it's going to be dramatic. And then last minute, Conrad's going to swoop in. Can't legally wed and then get divorced. That just seems like too much work. You know, they're too young. They're going to like go get divorced. She's going to be like, sorry, I'm locked in for life now. That's why we got married, so we couldn't run away from each other. It's like, that's how that works.
All right. So Conrad, or Ammir thinks that Conrad will end up with someone else because that's what he deserves. And Ryan thinks Conrad's interrupting Belly and Jeremiah's wedding. Those are the predictions as of now. We will be regrouping at some point to continue talking about this.
Yes.
So I can't give my predictions because I know what happens. But we're all in
Wait,
for
you
a
can't
ride,
give your
okay?
predictions on what happens with Steven and Taylor and what happens to the parents, because like you said, they're both new storylines. So what are your thoughts about that?
That's true. I hope Steven and Taylor can finally communicate their feelings and end up together like mature human beings. That's what I hope. And for her parents, I don't know. Like they must have gotten divorced for a reason. So
I
like I'm
know.
glad they had a fun night
Clearly,
together.
we
But
all forgot why, because now they're just vibing. But yeah, toxicity and love wins. That's all it shows. You know, they're like, who else shouldn't be together but is going to get back together? The parents. Great. Who else? Anybody else that shouldn't be together?
Just get everyone back together. Like, I swear, if everyone ends up broken up at the end and no one's together,
I saw some jokes, some TikTok of like Belly choosing the instead of choosing Jeremiah or Conrad, she chooses the beach or like the ocean or something. And I don't know, it was really
she just
funny.
gets the house.
She like literally is like, I choose the
This is
ocean,
my
and like walks
story.
into the beach. I know. I'm like, that would be, I'd be here for it. She'd be like, I choose myself. It's like, go off, queen.
Real.
Ain't nobody else choosing themselves. Someone's gotta freaking do it. You won't though. You won't do it.
Do we think Cam Cameron's coming back? I miss
No.
him.
So he wasn't even in the second book, so I don't think he's coming back for the third. I don't know why,
Yeah.
like they wrote him into the show.
Okay.
So he was just in the first book. Yeah.
He in the second
Sorry, that's
season
a
though,
spoiler.
he's very much in like Cousins forever at that point, isn't he? Like he's there working in Cousins and stuff, and he's just doing his thing. So I feel like he could show up though at some point. He might show up at the wedding. He might just be another guest.
Yeah, I was just
Honestly?
gonna say, is he gonna interrupt the wedding? Is he gonna be the one who gives Conrad the speech of telling his feelings? You're like, Cam Cameron? It's like, tell her how you feel, man. It's like,
yeah, innit?
or Redbird.
Oh no. I'm excited to see how it goes.
I am too.
Assuming like what, 3-4 weeks time we'll regroup. We'll discuss what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna have to have a little mid check-in. For everyone who's still watching, we weren't gonna do this every week just because of our scheduling, but I think we're gonna have to like play it by ear and see when we feel like we need to pop back on, you know, see how these next couple weeks go in the show. So let us know if you guys want us to do this again.
Yes, I want it. So you better want it.
Yeah, we're gonna have to offline it even if we don't live stream like in the in-betweens, Ammir. We gotta know. I was watching and I was like, is Ammir okay? Like what?
This is what I
was
mean.
as
Like
a
I
Team
can't hold it in for
Jeremiah,
like 3 or 4 weeks. I need to discuss
as a
this
team-
ASAP.
Yeah, as a Team Jeremiah, I was like, is he all right? His boy ain't doing so good.
Real. I was crashing out. The entire time I was just like, Jeremiah, why? Why?
Why?
This is icky. This is icky. Can you stop it, please?
Stop. You're losing me.
That's me with Jeremiah. Like, I've been holding on for so long.
know.
Right? Right. Yeah, the long relationship we've all had with Jeremiah, like
Yeah.
we're losing. Yeah.
And he's just slowly getting more and more icky, and it's like, why, Jeremiah? Stop it! You're losing me. Like,
Again, he needs to go to therapy. Conrad needs to hook him up. Give him a
yeah.
watch, put him in therapy, and see what happens.
I was gonna say that'll be the plot twist. It's like before you guys can get married, you need to go to couples therapy, and then all the problems get
Bro.
solved. And
Seriously, though, that'd be a fun addition. You'd be like, that doesn't happen in the book either. It's like, well, it's modern day now, you know? Like, they're pro therapy. I'm here for it. They need it. If you're getting
Yeah,
married
really.
and after what happened to them, they need
Need
couples therapy.
Yes, they
For
do. I agree.
sure.
well, thanks so much for having us on your stream, Ammir. This
Oh,
was so much fun.
Thank you so much for choosing to do this and like coming up with the idea. Like, I give you guys complete credit for this because this is amazing, and I just love the fact that
We all crashed out over the trailer, and we were like, "Let's do something with this."
Right?
Exactly how it went down.
You're the only one we would want to chat about with this because, you know, it's so fun.
And I appreciate that, and I've had an amazing time, and I can't wait to crash out over the next 9 weeks. 9
Dude,
weeks
I
of
know.
crashing out.
Or 10 weeks, right? Because we got
No, 'cause
2
we
for
got 2
one. You said there's 11
episodes.
episodes. 1, 2.
Yes,
I can't
so-
do math.
yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
9.
9 weeks. Like,
We've got another 9 weeks.
yeah. Well,
Though, one last thing, I just want to put it out there. It's not going to go anywhere though, because it's literally just as someone said. But the last episode comes out on 9/17 American calendar time, so like 17th of September. When Conrad texts Belly in the morning in season 1, like the morning after, so I can't remember what happened, but like, the first time he texts her, that's at 9:17 a.m. So somebody was like, clearly they might be setting it up like a bit of a foreshadowing kind of thing, like
not them looking for like that's like a Taylor level Easter
that
egg
is-
investigation. I was like, wait, where are you going with this? I'm over here adding 9 plus 1 plus 7 because no, you can't get away from it. Like,
it was
That's
weird.
funny,
It was
clearly we all have too much clowning time on our hands. We're like, did you guys know? Like, these are fictional characters, everyone. It's okay.
But Jenny's done some
no,
crazy
that is-
things. Like she wrote her own book
I
into
mean-
these first 2 episodes. Like, in the
Oh yeah, you
crossword.
saw that Easter egg too?
Yeah, I was like,
in
Jenny
the
Hahn?
crossword?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, I didn't know she
No,
wrote
that's a
PS,
real
I love
book.
you.
No, it is a real
No, I
book. Yeah,
know.
but it's the
But
fact that
she,
she
like,
wrote herself
Easter
into the
egged
book,
herself.
like into
Yeah,
the
that
show.
was an
She
Easter
was-
egg.
She was in the first season.
Second
as
season.
well. Second season, yeah, she made a cameo, like she's in
Yeah.
the store in the background or
really?
something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I only picked that up on the second rewatch. I was like, wait, that's Jenny Hahn. Like, I think it was episode
Dang.
6 of. It's before they were doing the party. They were buying the alcohol for the party. But,
That's what it was.
yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah,
No,
I
it's
did
neat.
like that little Easter egg though of the crossword
Yeah.
puzzle.
Innit? And it's P.S. I
Mhm.
still love you, and obviously it's and to like add salt to the wound, Conrad had already filled it in and then he rubbed it out, because you can already faintly see STILL. Like 2 of the letters are there,
Wait, I
but he
didn't
wrote the
see
other ones in
that.
already and then rubbed them out, and then she.
Oh,
refilled
I
it
didn't
in.
notice that.
Wait, I thought her book was PS I Love You. Is it PS I Still Love You?
It's a trilogy also.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
I need
And
to
that's
watch
a
those
Netflix
ones now.
series.
Yeah, films.
Yeah. Or
3
films,
I've never
yeah.
seen those.
I've not
Or read
either,
that.
but I guess we're gonna have to watch it now.
Right? Wow, he wrote still and then erased it. Wow, the Easter egg, the
Yeah.
depth. And that's
Innit?
why like you looked at it and she saw it too.
And then she refilled it in because she still loves him.
But he left though, just like he always does. It's like he had to go. He had a flight to catch, girl. Unlike you, he's not gonna stop his life for you. Okay? Like
People can say goodbye.
She
You've
was
left my
asleep.
house at like 3 a.m. before I've gotten up and said goodbye to you.
yeah, because you tell me the night before. No, I'd still say bye. No. I've never come into your bedroom and be like, wake up, I'm leaving. And like it's a mutual They didn't discuss it. I get it. He's also avoidant, but as am I. So it's not like, Belly, I gotta go. She'd be like, okay, bye. What do you want from me? Anyway.
Anyways,
Well, anyway.
we can wrap it up now. I feel like I'm sure you guys have other stuff to get to as well.
And it's 3 a.m. for you now?
Yes,
You need
9
to
past
sleep.
3. I'm gonna take these off because they're doing some weird things on my ears right now, making lots of noises. But
well, thanks everyone for hanging with us, and thanks for having us on, Ammir.
It's all good. Thank you guys for sticking around, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye everyone who's watching. Oh my god, we still got lots of people here. Bye.
Bye friends. Thanks for watching.
Okay.